Boom. I'm on there. Oh, 5, 14, 13, 15, 16. I don't know why it's got a weird count. Oh, man. So, there's a countdown over here. I don't know what the hell that means. Live, 11, 12. But now it's back up. It's the weirdest thing. I don't understand what it's doing.
Are you doing something wrong?
No, I see it. I see it there.
Dan Solana, good evening, Greg.
Dan, what's going on? What's going on, Richard? What are you guys doing?
How's Lee doing, Richard Hall?
Lee? Lee Priest?
I guess so.
I think he's okay. Lee's
Rob Fortunato, hello, Greg.
Hey, Rob
Morella,
Fortunato.
Morella.
Robbie, how you doing? Morella, what's going on? Abdil Torres, what's going on?
My two favorite people.
Who?
Morella said. Abdil Torres, what's up from Connecticut?
Hey, Abdil. I didn't know you live in Connecticut, Abdil. How you doing? Jacob. Natalia, how you doing, hon? DR, whatever. I can't see. Or DR. Hey, what's from Brooklyn? There you go. My partner Paul's from Canarsie, so when you hear me talk about him, he's from Canarsie, Brooklyn. He's a crazy bastard. I gotta get him on one day. Me and him forget about it through the days. Lucia, you gotta tell me who these people are. Agent Sterling, Bill, Mark Burton. How you doing, Robbie? Good, sounds good. Better, bro. Thank you, Robbie. Yeah, I'm doing good, man. How you doing? What's up, Darren? What's going on? And Abdil. Oh, it's good to hear you. Thank you, Abdil. So, yeah, I don't know how Lee's doing. I haven't talked to Lee in a week. I know I talked to Jimmy the Bull, but I haven't talked to Lee. So we'll see what happens. Lee should be. Lee's good. Lee's Lee. You know what I'm saying? But I know he's not happy with all that shit that's going on. With that. But like I said, I told you in that video. If you guys saw that video with me, Greg, the bodybuilder's in there. What is he saying? Who's that? Oh, Joe. Jeez. Hey, Joe. Thank you so much. Joe, thank you. You don't have to do that. Thank you so much. My brother. That's my brother, Joe Zapata, which, by the way, tomorrow we do Joe and I do the podcast together on Straight Out of Jersey, Joe Zapata, tomorrow. So watch that at 8:00. Greg, did bodybuilder in 80s goals gyms do well on bodybuilding keto? No. A lot of the guys in the 80s did not do keto. If you guys remember bodybuilding in the 80s, we did mostly, I know I did the whole low fat, we did more carbohydrates and stuff, which was, that was in the 70s they did. If you remember, you guys remember Pumping Iron, right? Well, if you remember correctly, when Arnold's having breakfast and he's talking to Lee, when he's talking to Lou and Lou's father, Matty, who I knew very well, Matt Ferrigno. Lou Ferrigno hates my guts, as you guys know. But anyway, remember Arnold was like, Lou, I'm scared, I'm shaking. And he had a fried egg on his, watch it again. He was eating a fried egg. Because back then, Arnold used to eat hamburger meat, which he used to call steak. He called that steak, by the way, right? He used to eat hamburger meat, but he did like pancakes. That was his favorite food. Back then, they did more of because Atkins started back in the 70s and he kind of brought a lot of that stuff in. And remember, the other guys all like Vince Gironda was very big on, take a tablespoon of like olive oil. There's a few guys that used to, tout that to trainers. Vince Gironda believed using heavy cream in your protein shakes, not milk. He believed in high fat, so that stuff. But then it kind of went out in the 80s. And in the 80s, it was higher carbs, and all of that. So, yes, Robbie Fortunato was talking to, yes, Robbie and I grew up right down the street from each other. And we worked out. He was, we used to go on a school bus and punch the seats in the back. You remember that, Robbie? We used to hit the seats and stuff. But, yeah, so, that's the way it was in the 80s, I suppose, then in the 90s is when the Mauro Di Pasquale started all that, brought in the high fats and all that stuff. He kind of brought that back. I told you a lot of you guys though. Atkins, the homeless project. What's going on, my brother? Sickening Freak. What's going on? Bedford McDermott. What's going on? So more Di Pasquale brought that back in. And if you guys know, I've told this story before. That Steve Bleckman, my boss with Muscular Development Magazine, he knew Dr. Atkins. And him and I were one time at a restaurant, and Dr. Atkins was there. And I met Dr. Atkins. And ironically, Dr. Atkins was eating pasta, but I don't remember. I don't think it was it was a pasta dish that had pasta with it. You know what I'm saying? He was eating it. But what people don't know is that Dr. Atkins was not a diet doctor. He was a heart surgeon. That's what he was. He was a heart surgeon, and he specialized in doing surgery on the morbidly obese. Okay, so he needed people like if you're going to get a surgery done by Atkins, you needed to lose weight. If you were like morbidly obese, he designed that diet, the Atkins diet, so that people would lose weight rapidly. They ate fats, they ate bacon, they ate all that kind of stuff. They didn't have any carbs at all. There was basically like, if you remember Vince Gironda and a few guys used to tout, remember you old school guys used to tout the milk, meat, and egg, meat and eggs and water diet. A lot of guys used to believe in the 70s, I just ate eggs with meat and drank water, and that's where they would get, then that changed come the 80s, and then back in the 90s, Mauro Di Pasquale kind of brought in the good fats and the fish and all that stuff. But Arnold used to eat hamburger meat a lot, and he used to call that steak. He ate steak with eggs, and he did pancakes. I do know that.
Boston Phil says I can't function without high carbs. Boston Phil. Also, Natalia was asking, is Jimmy going to Florida?
Is Jimmy going to Florida? Jimmy the Bull? Yes. Joe Zapata was just talking to him today, and Joe was just saying that he was talking with Jimmy, and he said that Jimmy was telling him. I think he's going down to see George. I don't think he's going down to see Dave, but he might see Dave while he's down there. What was I saying? Somebody said that they can't survive without carbs. I understand that, man.
Like me.
It's the carbs. I'm sorry, I'm reading Sickening Freak just asked me the craziest Sound Factory story. There's a gazillion Sound Factory stories. There's a famous bodybuilder who won the Nationals, and I was with him. And 2 weeks before he won the Nationals, and he was so lit that he was laying on the floor downstairs in the downstairs part of the Sound Factory. He was like kind of in a K-hole, and I had to lift him up and put him on a stool. Then you had, I saw a girl one time was walking in there totally topless and fell into my arms. I was just standing. She was just walking like a zombie and fell into my arms. I carried her and put her over on a couch because she was like in a K-hole. I mean, it's mean shit. I used to have sex with my girlfriend in there all the time. With the bodybuilders and everything, I would see all kinds of, they were all doing ecstasy, bro. Every one of them. A lot of guys were doing that shit. There's a lot of good stories. Me and Bob Bonham. I told you, Bob Bonham. We'd be there. Some girl showing him her box, and she's got all these like little piercings, and Bob's over there feeling it and everything.
George Zapata's like Lucia.
Oh, George. Yeah, George Zapata. George, my boy George is in the house. George Zapata's Zapata Brand podcast coming up boxing in Berwick, 27th of April. My boy George, we're rooting for him. You know what I'm saying? Teddy Atlas is supposed to be there. He wants me and Teddy to do some sort of broadcast, and I will do it for George. Obviously, George is my boy. George got some great stuff on his channel, by the way, all boxing, friend of Teddy Atlas and everything. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, Lucia's posting a link right there. Skip saying hi to you. Mike Menzer talked about carbs, or carbs are good. Well, Mike Menzer had a strange. Mike Menzer only ate like 80 grams of protein or less, even when he was on a lot of juice, because Mike Menzer believed. Yes, Dorian Yates was at the Sound Factory. I used to see him all the time. He would be lit out of his mind, by the way, and he looked terrible. But we want to get into that. Because when I start telling these stories, some of these guys, they get all fucking bent. You know what I mean? Like I get messages from them, and Dorian's one of them from back in the day. But regardless, Mike Menser only would eat like 80 grams of protein because he believed, like, your body makes the essential amino acids, and you just need to give the non-essential your body makes the non-essential amino acids. You just need to get the essential amino acids, the ECAs and all that stuff. So, I mean, he had his own way. Think about it. What?
Michael Dietz, Yankees.
Oh shit! Where's my boy Mike Dietz? Mike Dietz, yes.
Ruben Sanchez says Ethan and I. What's up, Greg? I guess that's his son.
Ruben Sanchez, what's going on? Are you and Ethan? How you doing, my brother? Yes, Mike Dietz. Yes, our Yankees look really good right now, but that's right now. Let's see if that lasts, because I'm still worried about this.
This is a good question from Peter. What sport did you do as a kid?
Greg? What sport did I do as a kid? Peter asked. I did every sport. Football, baseball, basketball, lacrosse. I played lacrosse, but I played lacrosse in a league. Baseball's my favorite sport. I was a really good football player because I played with hatred. My father shoved football up my ass. But baseball's my favorite sport. Even to this day, I love it. I can never get enough of baseball. The other sports are like, what's that?
Like Mike Tyson was saying yesterday, you gotta have some of that anger.
Yeah, all right. I don't know what that has to do with this.
You say you played with
my girlfriend's a Momo. Soto is the real deal, says Mike Dietz. Yes, my brother. Boy, that was a great pickup. Not for nothing. But I'm still worried about this. You got rid of 7-8 pitchers. Wandy Parada, who was innings eater. He hit up a lot of innings, man. And you get rid of a guy like that. You need that. All these young kids in the bullpen, I'm not too sure.
Somebody said crazy that Blaha is in here. Who's Blaha? Jason Blaha.
Yeah, I don't know if that's really that guy. I love Trump. Greg, where did Barbarian Brothers live? In Pacific Palisades or Santa Monica? They lived right outside Santa Monica when I would drive them. I drive them home. Plus, they would stay with other people in Venice. I remember I tell the story. They were staying with somebody in Venice. I don't know who the person was, but I just know they were staying there. And I saw that one of them vomited over. There was a big party going on, and I was trying to go there, and I saw him vomit, and it was vomit outside. He vomited over the railing, and it was like birds eating the vomit. It was funny. Jacob Anderson, you mentioned in your book a guy named Dominic. You
would give shout outs to like Paul DeMayo. Who was Dominic? That's probably an alias you used.
Yeah,
right?
Yes. The Paul DeMayo was my friend. Dominic is a different animal. That's a wise guy. So I don't like to tell people like I purposely used aliases because there's guys who are still roaming. If you read the beginning of the book, it says there's people who are still roaming around right now. One guy just got out of prison for murder. So I don't want to mention names, but maybe Jacob, if you message me privately, I could tell you. You know what I'm saying? I would, but I don't want to say stuff too much here because these guys are all crazy. Who else? Let's see.
Did Arnold do gay stuff?
Did Arnold do gay? You guys are funny. What happened to Lenny? Clay Holmes drives me crazy. Clay Holmes sucks, bro. Clay Holmes is another fucking John Wetland. He's got to let the first 2-3 guys get on, make you sweat your ass off. There can never be a 3 up, 3 down. He sucked. Dude, the year that he had that great year, he was great from April, unhittable, had like a 0 ERA from April to mid-June. Then after that, he was so bad, if you remember correctly, that they took him out and put Chapman back in. He took Chapman's place. He stole Chapman's job from him, and then they stuck Chapman back in because Clay Holmes sucked. You're not going to win the World Series with Clay Holmes as your relief. I'm just going to say that now. It's going to make you shit your pants. What did you want to know? Did Arnold do gay stuff? You got to watch. I got to watch what I say here because these guys say sue you. Like, if it was Lou Ferrigno, he'd be sitting there with his lawyer, like waiting for me to say something wrong. Yeah. Arnold did stuff, yes. He didn't. I don't think Arnold did anything like where he was pounding guys in the can. Okay, that's BS. What he used to do was do exactly what all these other guys do: stand there posing, and men would fucking snort coke and they give you money and they jerk off. And let me see that rear double bicep. Maybe pose naked, shit like that. But that he wasn't. I don't believe Arnold was pounding guys in the ass. That's how he got the Butler, the guy who did Iron, pumping iron. Hey, that's how we met all these guys. You know what I mean? Some of them were tricks. They were. What do you think he did? How do you think he made money? I mean, not for nothing. These guys, you know, he went. I told you the famous story, right? A million times. I tell you, 1971, wins the Olympia, walks off stage, or you know, crowd cheering, Arnold. All right, hold on. And it's then Joe Weider calls him back. He comes back. You know, after he gets the check, right? He comes back and he holds up the check and he said, "I just want to say I trained my ass off for a whole year, busted my nuts, and all I got for this winning the Mr. Olympia here was this fucking check for $1,000." And then he dropped the mic and walked away. Where do you think he got money to lay on the beach all day with Franco? You know what I mean? And, you know, do all that shit. They say he laid, you know, him and Franco they built one wall that I know of, one, you know, doing a little bricklaying, and it was Rube Goldberg. Things like crooked and shit. You know what I mean? But they weren't like construction workers and shit. Yeah, out of your mind. He trained twice a day. We'll go to the gym in the morning, run on the beach, go have, you know. So, you know, I know the people, but I'm not, you know, I gotta, you know, you gotta be a little, I have to be a little discreet because,
what is this next?
Again, you get sued. What do they want to know?
John Mancini says Armand needs to apologize for being disrespectful to you on After Hours. What is he talking about?
Oh, no, I don't know. Oh, I know what he means because he's told me to shut up. It was because I put the wig on his head. Nah, it's all right. Armand's good. He's okay. I understand, John. Thank you, though. Thank you, John Mancini. John Mancini's a good man. He's a good guy. Did Blackman come up with the nicknames for bodybuilders?
Or did he have help coming up with the names?
No, he pretty much coined his own names. Like Ramblin' Freak. I didn't like that name, by the way. Ramblin' Freak. You know, when I did the thing, that was his name. I still write that column. Nobody knows. I still write it for Joe Pietaro in Muscle Sport Mag. It's still one columnist of the year. Even with Joe Pietaro, I won columnist of the year. Okay, and I beat a lot of guys that you know. All right, and that column still kicks ass, but it's not called Ramblin' Freak. We can't use that name because Blackman owns that name. It's called Talking Smack. But I'm just saying, Steve Blackman did make up those names. The Priest Confessional, all that shit. That's all Steve Blackman. The Anabolic Freak, which was Dave Palumbo, all those things. That was Steve Blackman, yes.
Greg, big fan, Greg. Craig Spell is going to do another Bigger, Stronger, Faster Dunk. Will you be in it? That's from Ashley.
Okay, Ashley's asking me about Chris Bell's. Supposedly, he wants me in it, but he hasn't gotten a hold of me yet. I mean, not for nothing, but, you know, if you're going to do a second Bigger, Stronger, Faster, you got to have, you know, the guy who coined, you know, steroids or his American, his apple pie, and all the other crazy things that I said about Arnold, and, you know, Britney Spears kissing, you know, just, Madonna, blah, blah, blah. All my little speeches in there that everybody liked, you got to have me in there. But if it doesn't, you know, what do you want me to do? Because I got another one that I'm doing right now. So a good one, too, by the way.
This person, Rosie, just typed, I need some Samir Banu stories for the third time.
Any Samir Banu's a really nice guy.
Before you finish that, somebody says, Rambling Freak, I wear the shirt your lady sold me in Pride, Jacob Anderson.
Thank you, Jacob Anderson. I appreciate it. He wears the Rambling Freak shirt. I'm sorry, Lucia's hand, you know, asking me the questions. Okay. Rossi wants to know, not Rosie. Rossi wants to know. My girlfriend's Mexican, so she puts a twist on everything she says. Any Samir Banu stories? I get a million Samir Banu stories. But he's a great guy in person. A very friendly guy. If you go on my Instagram, you'll see pictures of Lucia. She's actually that way, even though I'm pointing the opposite way because like I'm in a mirror. You'll see pictures of her, but you'll scroll down, you'll see pictures of me and Samir Banu. I was 21. He hadn't won the Mr. Olympia yet. We were just guys in the gym together, me and him. I mean, it just, you know, he was a character. I mean, nothing outrageous that he did. But I'd be with him all the time. He used to do like exercises very like he would bounce and do like what I call rhythmic, you know, like when you curl, he would move with a rhythm when he did stuff. So he actually got me to do that. And to this day, I do some of that stuff. When I saw Julian Blumhardt, who was a Dutch official, you know, that picture, the famous picture of everybody outside Gold's Gym, I was there. I'm on the one that's inside. You'll see. Go to my Instagram. You'll see it on there. I'm right next to Bob Paris, all the Mensa brothers, everybody. He was there when Julian Blumhardt got punched in the mouth and he split him, by Mensa's boy, knocked him right through the wall of Gold's Gym where the stairs are. I was right there. I felt the wind of the punch. But go to Instagram, you'll see all that stuff. But Samir's a great guy. He didn't do anything outrageous like shit in a bucket and throw it in the gym or something like that. But he was a good guy. You could talk to him. He's very approachable. If you came up to him, he'd talk your ear off. He's a good guy. Whereas other guys are pricks. You know what I mean? Some were pricks, some weren't. Were you going to come out in a mafia movie? No. I did one mafia movie. What was the name of that movie, Lucia? Grave Diggers. Grave Diggers. So this is like it's a B movie.
Did you answer that? Did you ever meet Bob Graskin?
Did I ever meet what?
Bob Graskin.
Did I meet Bob Gruskin? Who asked that?
I don't know, but before.
Where do you see that? Of course did. I meet Bob Gruskin? Bob Gruskin was one of my close friends. I used to pose naked downstairs in his freaking basement. Yeah, I know Bob. Bob was like an uncle to me. Yeah. Of course I know Bob Gruskin. I used to be in his house over there in the Bronx. I'd go downstairs. He used to give me Super Spectrum supplement. Remember Super Spectrum, the vitamins? He used to give me that. He's the one who turned me on to multi-power protein. I met him through Peter Neff, who was his boy. And, I used to go down there. I'd be down there. Vinny Manzo would come in. All these, Long Island guys. Victor Terra. He's from up in Massachusetts. So he dealt with a lot of, Bob was one of my guys. He was basically my coach when I was a natural bodybuilder, kicking ass. So, yes, I knew Bob Gruskin very well. Greg Doucette just made a great video on Lee Priest like Bravo. Did he throw Lee Priest under the bus, or was it a good?
He was actually on.
Hey, Sean, what's going on?
I think he was actually on Lee Priest's side.
Okay, yeah.
Lee Priest posted about
I've never watched a Greg Doucette video. I didn't even know. I don't know who he is.
Lee Priest posted it.
I mean, I know who he is now, but
Lee Priest posted it on his story time, and he said, "Great video."
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't look at the video either.
I mean, let me just tell you guys something. You can't talk about Lee Priest. They're saying, "Oh, he's racist." He went out with Adela Garcia, who's his girlfriend for a while. He's dated. I forgot the black chick's name, but he was dating with a black chick. His girlfriend now, I know her very well. He just never touched her. There's no fucking beating her up. He didn't beat up his ex-wife. His daughter, he's her mentor. Do you think his daughter would be in bodybuilding and be a pro bodybuilder if it wasn't for Lee? I mean, come on. She followed in his footsteps. She got pictures. And to say he's anti-gay, okay, is stupid because his father's gay. His father's been married to a man since Lee was a teenager. So Lee has no problems with any of that stuff. That's all bullshit. He loves his father. There's no problems with that stuff. It's all a lie. It's all made up bullshit. I know. I'm his friend. I know. Do you know what I'm saying? Lee's very open-minded to stuff. I know he can get a little crazy, with that. But that's all just bark. It's like a dog barking. Okay? You got to remember, too, he's from Australia. Okay? They have different ways. They call each other cunts. You know what I mean? Like, they'll say, "Hey, you fucking cunt." And you'll be like, "Did he just call me a cunt?" Or if a girl hears that, it's like, "What?" The C word, they go crazy. But that's like, it's almost endearing to them. He's my cunt. You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean he's your cunt? That's my boy. You know what I mean? Like, that's their own way, but you can't chastise him for that. I'm just telling you. I'm not sticking up for him because he's my friend. I would call balls and strikes the way I see him. I know he can get crazy, and he knows he can get crazy, but that's just Lee. You got to love him or.
Deacon Mendes posed for the second time. Greg, any thoughts on TRT?
Any thoughts on TRT? Deacon Mendes said that?
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts are, I love TRT. Who doesn't love TRT? It's great. But if you're freaking 30 and you're doing TRT, and that's not really TRT. When you're my age, I'm going to be 64. I don't look like I'm that old, right? Come on. When you're my age, you need TRT. Otherwise, my nipples would be tingling. No, I'm kidding. I've noticed I'd have the freaking testosterone of a 12-year-old girl. But, because I abused it. I was fucking like taking tons of testosterone and sucking on the needle because I didn't want to get that little teeny bit extra juice that might be stuck in that needle. I was like, no way. So I love testosterone. I'm not going to lie. But it's good. If you're in your 40s and your testosterone's trying to sink and you've been taking the juice, by all means, the babanya. The babanya what?
I don't think you should do this because this person is...
Well, ask me. Go ahead.
Greg, you went off on Boston Lloyd's dad for parental alienation and Boston's mom and her grandchild. Can you share your story with parental alienation? Your daughter probably...
Don't relax. My girlfriend. Who asked that? She's asking me about... I see it right here. I'm sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. I'm going to stick my face because my girlfriend. On Anton the Prodigy?
Yeah.
Greg, he's saying, Greg, you went off on Boston Lloyd's dad for parental alienation. Boston's as a about the grandmother not being able to see, and meanwhile Boston Lloyd, yeah, I think he's a fucking punk for allowing that shit to happen. I knew Boston Lloyd. Boston Lloyd was a good boy. Did he do crazy stuff? He absolutely did. Maybe there could have been a little bit of parental guidance with that stuff, because I could tell you now, I was caught at 16 years old with the babanya, or 15 years old with the babanya in my room. Anything, my mother would have been like, come here, I got something. She was a lefty, so it would be like this. But you can't. The kid is the kid. You're alienating the kid from his grandmother. The grandmother has rights. The grandmother loves that kid. She didn't do anything wrong. You know what it is? It's sour grapes. It's just like some of you guys that have wives that won't let you see your kid or whatever. It's like, I'm going to pay that motherfucker back. Well, in this case, I guess the mother's aligned with the father. It was okay for the grandmother to babysit the kid all the time and do this and do that. But now, you don't do that. You don't do that. You don't use the kid as a tug of war, a rope. Because I went through all that shit, okay? And my father wasn't allowed to see my son and everything for the longest. And now I have a daughter too, but my daughter wouldn't allow that. Told her mother, no, that's not happening. I want to see my father and I'm going to be with my father. So that my daughter and I are real close. But they got my son. All right. And then didn't even let my son see my father. My mother was already dead. And my sister who passed away, but she was alive at the time and, wouldn't let him see that. So the whole alienation thing I relate to, and it's bullshit. It's bullshit. If you have a problem with your ex-wife or she has a problem with you, you know what I mean? Or you leave the grandparents out of it. You let the grandparents see them. It's okay. Then when Boston was alive, that the grandmother used to babysit the kid all the time. The kid loves his grandmother. What did she do? Did she pinch his penis or something? No. It's just that you don't, now that the mother and the father, the grandmother and grandfather don't get along. So now, instead of being a man saying, no, listen, I may not like the bitch, but that's the you're hurting Jackson. You're hurting the kid. You're not hurting you're hurting the grandmother too, your ex-wife, but you're hurting the kid and you're using the kid as a tool. Okay. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't give a shit if he's pissed. I'm here to do something about it, bro. Be a man. Step up. Do the right thing by the kid. Do the right thing by the kid. You love that kid. Do the right thing by the kid. I've been there. I went through all that shit. That's why I have anger about it. Believe me. Believe me. And that's going to pay. One day you're going to pay for that. You'll see. I could tell you more. I don't want to get too my personal shit because then I don't want to open a new can of worms. But just, Anyway. Rob, thank you. Rob Fendon. Thank you, my brother. EQ made a fatty tumor grow. I had it removed from my temple area. Won't do it again. All right, Chuck E. Cheese Ranch. I don't know if that's true. I mean, I don't know how EQ made that. Because my doctor, I have the number one cancer doctor, throat cancer. I had the throat cancer. I had the number one throat cancer doctor. The guy who does all the research. It comes up with the new stuff in the world. You can Google him. His name is Eric, E-R-I-C, Gendon, G-E-N-D-E-N. Mount Sinai Hospital, New York City. That's where I am. That's where I go. Okay. And he is using anabolic steroids because anabolic steroids, I'm talking about, they're starting to use that with cancer patients because it's anti-wasting. Now, if you told me growth hormone made the tumor grow. See, you know what happens? When you talk, wait, listen, you guys, I know you're asking questions. Hold up 1 second. Listen to me. Listen. Like when I just was in the hospital recently, right? One doctor tells me, yeah, gotta take this, don't worry about it. Take the testosterone. That's good. You take it, right? Then the other doctor's like, and it's a woman doctor. And you could tell with the short hair, the whole bit, one of those liberals, no, it's okay if I was a woman to take the testosterone, but, whatever. She's like, no, that's so bad for you. Don't touch that. That's really bad. Don't go on that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And I'm like talking to her. I get the middle finger in my pain on in my pocket. I'm like, like I told you, remember Arnold Schwarzenegger? Like I said that in the movie Bigger, Stronger, Faster, the politician who's got the thumb up in the air has got the middle finger under the table. What you see is what they want you to see. Listen, It's just like Joe Biden telling us how great the economy is right now. Meanwhile, eggs are $5. They said eggs are better than ever when Trump was president. They were the same eggs I'd buy right now were 82 cents. So let's not even go there. But that's neither here nor there. You can't go by what these doctors tell you. If you say I'm on testosterone, oh my God, you're on anabolic steroids. That's what it is. That's why you got what you got. It's because of that. No, it's not. I don't believe that at all. How is equipoise going to give you a fatty tumor? I don't believe that. Okay? I don't believe that. Do you know how many guys do equipoise and don't get fatty tumors on their friggin' skull? First of all, sometimes it's just bad luck. Genetics, bad luck, other little factors. If you were taking growth hormone, that's a different story. You might as well throw kerosene on a fire. Okay? I never took growth hormone. I'm an androgen junkie. Love androgens. Okay?
Mr. Jinx says you ever moving to Florida to be closer to Dave.
Who asked me that? If I'm moving
Jinx.
to Florida? Mr. Jinx wants to know if I'm moving to Florida to be closer to Dave. No. No. I hate to tell you, but Dave's got a lot of issues right now going on himself. We're not going to talk about that.
Sandra Garcia, hi Greg, how's it going? You need to be on the confession show with Jimmy and Lee on RX.
Yes. If I did move to Florida, it would probably be near Dave because I'm not moving to Florida. But if I was gonna, it would be near Dave only because not because I want to be near Dave, even though I do. Dave is my boy, but I like quietness. I don't want like madness in like Miami and all that. I would never go down there ever. Ain't happening. The only thing I would like is be near George because I like the whole MMA training shit. I would train with him.
Are you and your
what did you just ask me?
Are you and your son and your ex-wife close?
My son and I are close, yes. But my ex-wife and I, we are not close, but we're okay now. Everything's civil. Everything's good. We could be in the same room, fake laugh. Yes, we're good. Everything's good.
Deacon Mendez, New York City is really bad now, too, even in Eastern Queens.
Yes.
Mendez.
What dose amount do you recommend when using equipoise? I don't know. I used a whole bottle in a week. 50 cc jug of that. Don't do that though. Don't do what I did. Okay, but I used to use a 50 cc jug. I think it was 50 milligrams, but I did the whole thing, cannibal. Experiment with it. 200 milligrams is good a week, but I was doing a whole goddamn bottle, so I shouldn't talk. Don't do what I did, Ruben, please. Yes, New York City is bad, Deacon Mendes. It's really bad. It's savagery. I live here still, so it's no good. What?
The Prodigy? It says I'm dealing with it too. My own children, the courts are fucked, bro. The whole thing is fucked. My parents and family are too. Kids suffer the most.
Well, okay, the and is it Anton? Then the Prodigy. I'm dealing with the two. He's saying about his children and the courts and all that stuff. The only thing I can tell you, listen to me, is I said this a million times and there's guys that disagree with me. Okay. If you got to take your check and give it to the ex-wife. It doesn't matter. If that's what the court rules, I don't care if she's the worst mother. I mean, I do, but if that's what the court says you have to do, you have to do it. First of all, I was locked up, and when I was in jail, there was a lot of guys in there just for non-payment of child support. Okay? Remember, I was in the county jail. I wasn't locked up in no Fed bullshit, and club Fed like all these other guys working out, taking drugs and shit. I was in a fucking county jail. The county jail was badass. But that's neither here nor there. You have to pay child support. And even if she says to you, look, I'm going to show you something, Mr. Prodigy. I'm going to take your check and I'm going to give your check to my new boyfriend. Look, he's going to spend it on new Yeezy sneakers or whatever the fuck he does, right? Even if he does that shit, it doesn't matter. You have to pay. And you make sure that you keep track of all that, okay? Because one day when your kids are older, they're the ones who are going to get mad. See, now my son, it came around, and then he turned to the ex, and he said, because I gave a lot of shkarol. I gave a lot more than you could even. You took 210 grand, but that's the end of it. You have to pay that money. One day you're going to be your kid's hero. You constantly send them. You send them. You don't annoy them.
He says, "Oh, dude, I pay extra on my child support. Money means
money means nothing to me either. I paid. Not only did I pay extra, but I bought I paid child support, and I bought my daughter her new sneakers and whatever she needs, new lacrosse stick, all the shit because my daughter's an athlete. But here's the thing: when you pay that, right? If you pay and you never miss, and she doesn't do the right thing by the kids is still like, I don't have new sneakers and I don't, whatever the frick. One day they're going to turn to her and say, my father paid every month. He sent me Christmas presents. He sent me birthday presents. He never forgot me. And they're going to turn on her. That's what's going to happen. But you can't do anything. And you can't go and threaten. Why? I never understood the mentality of when guys catch their girl with another guy and they went, I'm going to kick the shit out of him. That's great. You know why? Because when you do that, you're going to go to jail. And now you're out of the picture. She would love that. You know what I mean? My ex-wife would have loved that. You're out of jail. You're in jail. The bad guy's in jail. Now she could sit back with the new boyfriend. You know what I mean? Smell that, honey. You know what I mean? She doesn't care. You just did her the big favor. You should thank the guy. You should be like, hey, thank you.
Gregg,
thank you.
He says the courts are fucked as they restrict your access, call you a visitor, not a father. And then Activist Supply says, I got full custody, one of the only men in my state to pull it off.
If you got full custody, then she's got to pay.
This is somebody else.
Oh, this is somebody else.
Activist Supply.
Okay, but Activist Supply. Okay, if you got full custody and you're a guy, your wife, your ex must be some piece of work, because women could fucking smoke crack in the courtroom, fuck the bailiff and all that shit, suck his dick, and still get custody of the kids because they, it's just a woman thing, Of course, right now, us men, we're like lower than, you know what I mean? Especially with the liberals and all that shit, emasculate the man, but whatever. So good for you. But the other guy, okay, the prodigy, whatever, he is probably going through the opposite, which you got lucky, you got your kids, but you have to still do the right thing. You send every week, every month every birthday, every holiday, you send them something. Let her throw it away. It doesn't matter. You have proof that you sent it. That's all. One day when they're older, they're going to understand. They're going to say to their mother, you motherfucker, you threw away all those presents that I thought he forgot me. You just never forget. And you don't you don't blame the guy. It's her. I don't care who she's with. I don't care if the guy influences her. It's her. That guy has no loyalty to you. It's her. She's the one. Do you understand? She's for me. If somebody was fucking my girlfriend, first of all, I'd watch. No, I'm kidding. If somebody was fucking Lucia, I'd be done. That's it. I'd be done with. I'm not going to beat up the guy. I'm going to be like, hey, take her. You know what I mean? If she'd fuck with me, if she'd do that to me, you know what she's going to do to you?
George Zapata wrote, Gregg, I may be the only one to ever come out on the good end of a divorce.
That's right. George came out on the good end of the divorce. George Zapata. I have met his son. He's a nice boy, good athlete, but he met a great girl too. Now he's got an excellent wife, one who loves him and who'll be there for him. You guys got to be like this. Look at my girlfriend. She's sitting there reading these. She hates bodybuilding. No offense, right? How much you hate bodybuilding? She hates bodybuilding. Okay, she doesn't like all this shit, but she's sitting here with me. She sat in the hospital with me. She slept there, stayed there every day for almost 2 full weeks. It's 12 days. She stayed there every day. That's what you need. You can't have some girl that's going to be out. That's her. It's the girl. She's no good. Fuck the guy. He's a moot point. Why would you want to beat him up? Fuck him. Let him take your fucking baggage. You make a deal with your girl. You know what? Take the house. I don't care. Take whatever. Give me the kids. She won't do it because the kids are a fucking tool to fuck you. You know what I mean? And that's why I was telling, Boston White's father, fuck you, man. Fuck you. You're a punk if you do that shit. You're not a man. If you're a man and you really care about that kid, listen, I never told my kid when I had my daughter, I never told my daughter, your mother's a piece of shit or I never did that shit. I told her, you make sure you see your mother. You make sure, you make sure that you do the right thing by your mother. Don't you take it out. That's between me and her. I'll handle that. Anyway, so that's it, what does it say? Actors? Well, if you let her out of child support, that's up to you. If you don't want it, if that was one of the conditions for you to get your kids, then, the activist supply, then that's great. God bless you. You know what I'm saying?
He said he bought her out of the house. He kept businesses, his son and his pet.
There you go.
He guys spent a fortune to do it.
Yeah, you bought her out. That's fine. I gave my ex-wife a couple $100,000 cash. Okay, so, and you know what I got for it? I'm I'm too nice to everybody. You have no idea. My girlfriend will tell you I let people shit on me. But that's neither here nor there. Look at my boy, Mike Dietz is in the house right here, who I remember when he was going through the same shit. I kind of, around the same time I was going through shit, We were together. What saved us was Yankees. Yankees and midnight working out, right? And a little bit of the babanya. A little bit of babanya, never hurt nobody. A little testosterone.
Eric LeBach has asked.
Right, Mikey?
Eric LeBach was asking, do you have any Boyer Co stories?
Eric wants to know if I have any Boyer Co stories. I've met Boyer Co. That's pretty much it. I don't have any stories about him. I wish I did. I don't know. I know he's a little flaky from people that I know. Not bad person, just, a little odd, just like Frank Zane. I know Frank Zane. I know Frank Zane better than I know Boyer Co. I only met Boyer Co. I know Frank Zane. Frank Zane's a weirdo.
They were also asking about Robbie Robinson. What was Robbie Robinson like?
Does your girlfriend? Quick Pump wants to know if you still have your Wendy's uniform. That was a long time. We've been together. We're in our 18th year. 18 years together, so she hasn't worked in Wendy's quite a long time. She don't have that uniform anyway. But she'll make you a hamburger. What did you want to know, Lucy? Would you ask me?
Robbie Robinson. What was Robbie Robinson like?
Robbie Robinson's another weirdo. I've told you stories about that. I was with Carlin Coker, my boy Dave Onions, Menser, Ray Menser, all. I went upstairs. I got in the gym, and upstairs was the locker room in Gold's Gym. So I went upstairs, and Robbie Robinson was just sitting there like this in his underpants, and he was staring in his locker. He had a locker and shit, and he was just staring there. And he would say hello, hey Robbie, hey, what's up? He's like a deep voice, right? That's it. I worked there for about 2.5 hours. I came upstairs and went upstairs. He was still sitting in the same spot, staring in the same open line. He's fucking weird. Tanya Knight was telling me she was at a pool party and it was real hot out. And she said, I went into the pool party and Robbie, when we got almost exact same story as me. She goes, I went into the pool party. She goes, I got there. He was like, oh, it's real hot. He's sitting in the air conditioning, watching a TV that was not turned on. And she said, she was at the pool party. She said she was there for hours. And then later on she came out and he was still sitting in there, same spot, watching a TV that wasn't even turned on. Who knows? This is a guy who had 4 wives and none of them knew that he was married to somebody else, He still cries, I recently was talking about Joe Weider was a racist and none of that's true. I know Joe Weider. I know Ben Weider. I have his phone number still. God bless him. I love Ben Weider. I was good friends with Ben Weider. I have his phone number still in my old cell phone. He's a great guy. Ben Weider was one of the best. And I know Joe. You see, there's a million pictures of me and Joe when I was freaking 19 years old. Okay, in 79. Now, Joe Weider, wait, what the hell did that's bullshit. Joe Weider's had fucking Robbie Robinson on the cover of his magazines, Lee Haney. He's had Sean Ray. Sean Ray was on Flex magazine. He said, he recently said that, I don't give, that Joe Weider said, I don't give black bodybuilders contracts. That's such bullshit. Give me a break. I don't put him on the cover of a magazine. He's been on the cover of the magazine. I have a few old muscle builders with Robbie on the cover of the magazine. He's a head case. That's all I can say.
John Mancini said that Arnold went vegan now?
Arnold's not vegan.
That's what John Mancini said.
No, John Mancini. Yeah, Arnold says that, but he's not vegan. He's full of shit. He said that. I saw him I saw the one video where he opened his refrigerator. There's steak in it. He's full of shit. He means, like, for the most part, he eats veg. He eats that.
Michael Dietz wrote Yankees.
Arnold's a scandal. Yes, Michael Dietz, my boy. Yes, the Yankees, man. Let's see what they do, though. This is only the first week. They still scare me. Yeah, that pitching shit scares the shit out of me. Dave Double, no pickles. Dave's Double, no pickles. Oh, he's talking about you working at Wendy's. Jeez, these guys remember this shit from years ago.
Somebody was asking, did Dave getting a divorce?
Is who getting a divorce?
Dave. Riff Raff Ruckus.
Well, that's not for me to say. I can't say. I'm not allowed to talk about it.
David Jellick, whatever, says everyone is a hypocrite these days. Kid Rock was just drinking a Bud Light on the podcast yet again. Whatever that is.
Yeah, everybody's a hypocrite. He's talking about Kid Rock drinking a Bud Light. I don't know. I mean, all that shit's so insane today. I don't even know what to say about that, Dave's going for 300 pounds again. No, Peter, no, he's not. He's not. He knows better. He had open hearts. You know what it is? You know how it is like when a girl, fat, all of a sudden, her and her husband break up, right? Now all of a sudden she's dieting, putting on makeup, wearing new fucking heels and shit. And you're like, oh, why didn't you dress like that when we were married? You know? Well, all of a sudden, when a guy who was once a bodybuilder, let's say it's Dave, you know, let's say he was going to get a divorce, you know, all of a sudden you want to start getting jacked again and, you know, living that life, buying new cars, and hopefully you meet another chick and she's going to be a female bodybuilder. Where is he? Where's Mr. G?
Dave is coming to train with me, MMA with me or something.
Dave's not doing MMA with you.
That's what he said.
Mr. G. Dave doesn't fight. He's not into fighting.
Yeah, that's what
Dave's scared. Dave's scared. He may say, yeah, I'll come down. I'll train with you one day. But he's not going to stand there and punch. You ever see when he does punch and he does like this? No, Jimmy's coming down there, Mr. G.
You do have a crazy Bob story, because somebody's asking, do you have any crazy Bob?
Oh, I got a million crazy Bob stories. Yeah, but I gotta, you know,
the one with the Rock.
Yeah, but I've told that story a million times.
Yeah,
I don't want to say too much. Bob's my boy and he's dead. But yeah, of course, you crazy. Bob Bonham.
Somebody had wrote, why was there no tribute or something?
Because Bob, when Bob died, she's asking why was there no tribute
somebody
to Bob.
Had said that. Somebody had wrote that.
You know, there's Bob died. He didn't want anything. I mean, he committed suicide. So he just wanted, that's the way it was. And his family, his sister died literally right after him. Bob died in October. His sister died in December. You know what I mean? She was devastated over Bob's death, but she died right after him. So there's a lot to that. You know what I mean? It kills me, you know, and there's some issues there. Yeah, there's things I don't want to say on, you know, because they had strong as shit. We tried to do something, but you know, there's some issues there that I'm not going to bring up here because it's going to open up a can of worms. Now, I'm on Bob's side always. You know, Bob's my boy. I talked to him the day before he killed himself. He told me he was going to do it. I didn't believe him. I tried to stop it, but it was too late. He had already tried a few times before. Anyway, I don't want to give like any stories with that. Bob lost his purpose.
Johnson.
Yes, you know what he did, and you know why? Bob was like a most solid, very solid brain man, but he got depressed and he started fucking around with antidepressants, and that shit fucks your head up. You don't need, if you're hurt over the loss of a girlfriend or the loss of a loved one or something, you don't need a medicine to make you chagad over that. You understand? You don't need a medicine to make you loopy so you don't feel the loss of that. When you start doing that and medicating yourself over things that are normal, you understand? And you're going to have problems. And that's kind of what happened. You know, a lot of, you know, then it makes him start seeing things that aren't there. Like he thought he had Alzheimer's. He said he was going blind. None of that shit is true. None of that shit. Anyway. So Mr. G is in the house. Mr. G is my boy. You know, you guys should check out his cookies, man. If you've never had Mr. G's cookies, we're not all saying that because we're his friends and we're greasing his ass. His cookies are badass, bro. They are badass. He makes those things. They're the best cookies I ever ate. I'm not lying to you. I'm not saying it because he's in the room, but not only that, but that peanut butter protein peanut butter cup that he makes. We all talk about that. That thing is legit, bro. Reese's could learn from Mr. G. I'm going to tell you that right now. So, and I'm not saying it because he's my boy, but I'm telling you, if you guys go there, you know, just tell him my saying, Momo promo code or whatever. He'll tell you, he'll hook you up. But he's the man. Mr. G is the man. You know, you know. I'm not just saying it. Everybody loves it. And ask guys who got the cookies. You know, ask some of the guys that aren't, you know, we're not after out just there. There's plenty of people who bought cookies from him. Zapata bought them. Right there. What is he saying? The Zapata, yeah, got Mr. G's cookies. They love them. Dude, those peanut butter cups are sick. I'm a diabetic, and you know, I got to watch eating that. But I'm telling you right now, man, those things are insane, and they're loaded with protein too, which is insane. So you're actually eating something. It's not like eating a regular Reese's where there's not even a gram of protein inside. It's just junk. You know, there's no like bullshit oils, no bullshit other shit in there. George uses legit stuff. I've been to George. I was there when George. You know, I was in his bakeries, his warehouse when he was where he bakes the cookies. When he was in Jersey, now he moved to, he just moved to Florida. But I was in George's warehouse. The guy's legit. Let me tell you something.
Hey, Greg, what's your body?
I ate Lee Priest's daughter's cookie.
Hey, Greg, what's your bodybuilding split like, and how many sets per week?
What's my bodybuilding split like?
And how many sets per week?
Yeah, you got to try his cookies. Wait, hold on. I'll tell you about the split in a second.
Hey, Greg, when's the video coming out?
The what video?
Del.
Oh, Jesus.
From Anton the Prodigy.
All right, Anton. We're gonna get to that. I'm gonna do it with Joe Zapata, not George. Yeah, you got to try his cookies. They're insane. But what was I just saying? Oh, you asked me something else. My split. You're talking. I'm older now. But when I was young, and you saw those pictures of me natural, and I was a young bodybuilder. Okay, I was doing. I was training every single day, but I was doing each body part the old school way 3 times a week. Now, I don't recommend that. That's back in the day. Arnold trained each body part 3 times a week. If you get the old book, 3 More Reps, every bodybuilder in the 70s, that's the way they trained. Sergio Oliva, they all did each body part 3 times a week. That changed when the 80s came around, okay? Then I trained each body part twice a week. And when I trained when I trained each body part twice a week, I pretty much did chest, back, and shoulders. Then on Monday and Thursday, on Tuesday and Friday, I did biceps and triceps. See, because I didn't like knowing that my triceps were nice and pumped, but my biceps were soft and mushy. I felt like the arm grew better, like when both, that's the way I liked it. And then I did legs I like to do legs on their own. You know what I mean? I like to have a day just for legs so I can kill them.
Well,
so I did, wait, hold on. I did legs on Wednesday and Saturday. And that's the way I did it. And I would be off on Sunday and then it would repeat. Now, as I'm older and I'm still jacked, I do, each body part once a week. And I pretty much pick a day, I do legs and chest together now. Okay. I do, on Mondays, I only actually train twice a week with weights. I don't even train my arms really anymore. Very little. I'll do a little on a bicep machine. I don't even need to train my triceps so big. I'm in a different place. I wouldn't recommend you doing what I do. I'm going to be 64 years old. You know what I mean? And I grow really easy with certain body parts. So I do certain things my way, but I wouldn't recommend that. If I was younger and I was to train for a show and to do things, I would actually do more of a push-pull. I would probably do like chest and triceps like that, back and biceps like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? I always like to give legs a day of their own, but I don't need to do that now. I'm not going for a show and my legs are jacked already, so I don't need to annihilate them. I do annihilate the hamstrings, but I don't annihilate the quads. I don't need to. So I just keep them where they are. So that's it. But you got to I believe in a lot of work, lots of sets, lots of reps. That's just me. Intensity or insanity. John Defendis way.
When War Attack and Will Debley are saying.
When War Attack, what's going on?
And Will Debley.
What's that?
And Will Debley.
Oh, Will Debley. How you doing, my brother? Is Charlie Arms still alive? Yes. Charlie Arms is still alive. He's like 80 years old and he's still a badass. I heard he still gets some fights down in Florida.
Aaron Labatt.
He was a monster.
Eric Labatt. Greg, how often do you see Jimmy? Doesn't he live close to you?
How often do I see Jimmy? No, Jimmy lives in Long Island. I live in, here's New York City, okay? I'm from the Bronx originally. Then we moved up here to Westchester. But I still live in Westchester's like the Bronx's little brother. He lives on the other side. He's more Brooklyn and Queens. He's on Long Island. I do see him. We go out to dinner and stuff like that, but I don't see him like that because he lives on the other side. We talk on the phone. You know what I'm saying? But, because he's a Long Island guy, I'm now in Westchester. And Westchester's the Bronx. But the Bronx and Westchester, like everybody from the Bronx moved to Westchester. Everybody from Brooklyn and Queens moved to Long Island. That's the way it is. And the people from Manhattan are too fucked up to leave.
Mr. G wrote, I'm not fighting Big Lenny.
No, who said that, Mr. G? Who asked if you were fighting Big Lenny?
I don't know. There's so many comments, Greg. And Jacob Anderson, is the wine you and your father would press, is it still sold?
Is the wine that you... No, I didn't do it. Jacob Anderson's asking, it's the wine that me and my father... I never made wine in my life. I wouldn't know how to make that. My father made it with his father, my grandfather, who died before I was born. My father was young.
Sam,
and my... Wait a minute, hold on. And my father never... made that, like never tasted that wine that he made with his father. He just made it because his father used to say, I need help, you got to make, him and his brother. But my father never drank the wine, never even tasted the wine that he helped my grandfather make. That's what I was saying. But it's not. That shit's long gone. My grandfather probably drank that shit up until 1950, in the 50s. You know what I'm saying?
Riff Raff Rockers, Greg, do you still bench press? If so, what kind of poundage do you use?
Do I still bench press and what kind of poundage? No, I can't bench anymore. I'm too friggin'... No, I don't bench anymore. I don't even know if I could do 315. I show you guys here. I won a bench show. I was a really good bencher, bro. Really good. Here's my...
One of them?
Yeah, here's one of my trophies right here. Wait, that's 1987. See? First place. Can you see it down there? First place. First place. I don't know if you can see that shit, but whatever. There, right there, see?
Godzilla, what's up, Momo? Have you seen Tony Huge lately? Thank you, sir.
No, I talked to Tony Huge. I don't see him. He's in Thailand. That was my pee bucket that just fell for when I do after hours. I don't use it here. If I got to pee right now, I'm gonna go to the
Greg,
bathroom.
are you selling any old bodybuilding magazines, Rosie?
Rossi, not Rosie.
Are you selling any old bodybuilding magazines?
Yes, you'd have to go to my girlfriend's eBay. Contact her. PAGIJU. PAGIJU. Go there and hit her up over there. She sells them. I know nothing. Yes, there's still a lot of them. Did your chest respond well to bench? Yes, but the thing is, my triceps and my delts are so strong that they respond better. I do better with flies, dips, and all that stuff. So that, everybody's different. Everybody's different. I used to incline bench. I used to take 315. This is when I was natural, before I ever took steroids. I used to take 315. I was like 170, 175. I used to take 315, leave it on my chest on an incline like this, and my friend would count to 10. And then I would grab the bar, and I would do like 15, 20 reps with that, with 315 on the incline. I was badass, bro. Charlie Gasparino, Fox Business News. Him and his brother, So, but anyway, Greg.
Somebody, Mr. Jigs, is asking, is that for sale?
Is what for sale?
The plaque, I guess.
No, it's not for sale. I like that. And my other favorite one, and I even show it all the time, but I don't give a shit. I'm going to show it again. Right here is when I was most valuable player, 1972. I would play baseball. I was the best. Dude, I was hitting like 3 home runs a game. It was disgusting, I was like a man playing amongst kids. That's how good a ball player I was back then. Anyway, that was a long time ago. Obviously, 1972, most of you people weren't even, your parents didn't even know each other. Your parents were probably kids. Anyway, people, everybody's saying hello to you, Mr. G. They all love you. George says he does, I do 30 reps, everything real fast. Yes, George trains, I could be wrong, but I think George trains similar to me. Lots of sets, lots of reps, because he comes from the Steve Mihalik school of thought, and that's who taught John DeFendis his thing. And I John DeFendis is my mentor when I was young. So, and John DeFendis is probably the greatest trainer. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but you can look him up on the internet. You could tell him, if you ever talk to him, tell him Gregg Valentino said that he's the best. He's the best, bro. That fucking guy. He could take anybody if you don't have a body part, if your body part sucks, talk to John DeFendis. He'll get it up. Everyone check out Mr. G's Cookies. Yes, thank you, John Mancini's pumping up Mr. G there. Mr. G's Cookies.
Hey, Greg, do you have any Mike Christian stories?
Mike Christian was the baddest dude on the planet.
And Lee Haney were competing against each other in the 80s, right?
Who was competing? Yes, Lee Haney. Yeah, they competed all the way into the 90s against each other. Mike Christian was a happy, great, friendly guy. But when you got on his wrong side, bro, I tell everybody, I know you guys hear the same story. So I don't know, aren't you guys sick of that? But whatever, I told you the story where I was there. He was on the bench press. He wasn't a bed. He was like deadlifting or something, or squat. Not deadlifting, doing barbell rows, I think, or something like that. He was across the gym, and one of the two barbarian brothers were training, and I can't remember which one it was, David or Paul, David or Peter. One of the two was benching, and the other one was spotting him, and he'd smack him in the face. They'd smack each other in the face to get psyched up to get on the bench, and do that shit. So I believe it was Peter Barbarian. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Whichever one was benching. The other one said to Samir Banu, get your ass over here and smack my brother in the face. Show him out, get him going, right? So Samir Banu comes over and goes like that. And whoever I don't remember, again, I don't remember if it was Peter or let's say it was Peter. Okay, so it was Peter benching, right? So Peter gets smacked in the face and says to him, "What was that? What was that? Come on, man! That's as hard as you hit, you pussy." So he goes, smacks it. Now he goes, smack him harder. So he smacks him harder, like this, right? Now he's like, "Oh man, that's a pussy bench." And his brother goes, "Yo, Mike Christian, you pimple face NIG, you know what I mean? Get your ass over here and show Samir how it's done." And Mike was in a bad mood, and he just had his nostrils flare, and he walked over like this to the bench, and he went bang, hit him with an uppercut and knocked him out. And his brother was like that, and David looks and sees his brother Peter knocked down, goes, "Now that is how you fucking smack a guy in the face. That's what I'm talking about." It's like stories like that. I was there. Sometimes John Romano tries to tell that same story and he wasn't there. I was there. I get the pictures.
No one is.
There's a million of those stories. Mike Christian was the easiest going guy. He's the one who gave me the Underground Steroid Handbook. I told you all the time. He used to live in a fucking maid's quarters and he was working in a. I was in there. I was in this little cottage that he had. It was for a hotel, like had a bird's name, like the Sandpiper or something like that, or the Pigeon Motel or something stupid like that. It was a little small motel. What?
Dominic Scully, no one is going to believe me, but Bruno Sammartino bench pressed 330 for 38 reps, 100% drug free. It wasn't recorded because he thought it wasn't a beat until years later. All
right, Dominic, I don't know if any of you guys hear Lucia reading all that, but Dominic said about it, he's seen Bruno Sammartino bench 330 for 38 reps, blah, 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 blah. He was natural. I can tell you now, I met Bruno Sammartino. Myself and Joe Pietaro were in his documentary. Okay, there was a documentary on Bruno Sammartino, and there's a scene where Joe and I walk him out to his car and everything. Now I know Bruno Sammartino. That was a bad motherfucker. He was already 78 years old, crushing my hands and shit, fucking around. He was a big dude, full-fledged Italian, real like old school Italian guy. I believe he was natural. He was a monster. Even as an old man. I knew him as an old man. I didn't know him when he was young, but I knew him older. He was an old man, And again, we're in his documentary and stuff. And we were his escort and everything. He was a pisser, but he was a big, rugged, he was a man's man, old school thinking, you know what I mean? So I believe that. Anyway. When will your extra large shirts be in stock? Well, it's funny you say that because we're, with the help of Joe Zapata and all that, we're doing the store right now. So we're going to, it'll be on here. I don't know how you do this little thing that comes up on YouTube and stuff, and you show all the shirts. The YouTube store? Yeah. It's called the YouTube store, whatever. You'll see them on there. So they're going to handle all that. Dude, I'm I'm like bad. I'm really bad with stuff. You have no idea. Anyway, Matthew, what's going on? Knight Rider, Jacob, okay. Felicia,
wasn't Charles
Piracy, whatever happened to Rodney Roller? I don't know. Wait a minute. What am I talking about? I don't know. I just talked to him not too long. He's still around, but he's not. I don't know really 100% what he's up to, but he just talked to me. I talked to him on the phone like 2 months ago, He's a good guy. I get along really well with Rodney. He used to give me like these little gummies, like testosterone gummies, and they were nice. I love anything that has to do with testosterone. Wasn't Charles Glass a legit badass. Charles Glass was, yes, Jacob. Charles Glass is a legit badass. He can knock you out too. He was a tough guy. I mean, I'd say him, Christian, and Matarazzo were probably the baddest dudes that I knew in Gold's Gym. They were tough guys. I mean, yeah, of course, Alzado back in the day, you know, when and Jeep Swenson and all those guys. There were some monster powerlifters in there. But I'm going to be honest with you. Those three bodybuilders would have fought those guys too, even the big powerlifters, and maybe even one. I mean, you know, they were tough guys. I'm just saying, you know, they were badass dudes. There was no joking.
Red
You know,
Records is asking this again. Greg, please tell the fight story about Charlie Gasparino's brother.
what? Well, who asked me that?
Red Records.
Greg, please tell us the fight about Charlie Gasparino's brother. Which fight are you talking about? There's a million of them. You talking about Jimmy and Charlie? We call Charlie Chuck. To us close guys, it's Chuck. But which fight are you talking about? Because they used to fight each other. There's a million. I seen Gasparino knock out bouncers when he was like in 9th grade in high school. I'd see him go and knock out big bouncers at bars and stuff. I mean, knocked them out, you know. And you know, Kevnick wants to know, are you still friends with Tommy Tuck? Yes, I am still friends with Tommy. So, you know, Charlie Gasparino's, you know him as Charlie Chuck. I call him Chucky, but he's a bad dude, bro. You watch him on Fox News and everything like that. Don't kid yourself. He boxes to this day. He still hits the bag. He'll throw hands. We get together all the time. We're still real close. We get together. We get in bars. I got to watch out because some of the guys we hang out with still get a little crazy, and we got to watch the hands start going. Greg, can you tell the story of the doctor milking your prostate? You guys are funny. You want to hear the story of the doctor milking my prostate? He took it about the one when the doctors, because, you know, I shave my body. You know, I'm a bodybuilder, bro. You know, and that's the one where the doctor said, yeah, you're funny. You're making me tell that story. And the doctor goes to me, oh, my God, you're so clean back then. I was like, oh. And then he sticks his finger up my ass. And I'm like, dude, I feel like you just raped me. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like fucking, what the hell was that? You know, so clean. Like the way he said it, because he's gay. I know, he's a gay doctor. And, you know, as bad enough, you know, I'm there for steroids and he's sticking friggin' his finger up my ass. I'm like, what do I need your finger up my ass? What does that have to do with me taking it? He's like, well, we got to check your prostate. And I'm like, make sure that's your finger going up there, not your fucking pichely god. Anyway, yeah, that's what he said. Ooh, you're so clean. I'm like, what the fuck? What do you want me to have, like, hairy shit on my ass? What is that? You know, I mean, sorry, you know. I'm not hairy anyway. My girlfriend would say, I don't even have to I can go in a contest right now, bodybuilding show. My legs are jacked. And I don't have to even shave my legs. I don't grow hair like I can't even grow full sideburns or anything. I'm not a hairy guy. Mr. Jinx, to Jason, Jason, order 66. You're so clean. What's going on here? You guys are asking these questions really fast. What
made you stop competing?
My producer over here is like a little slow.
No, well, you keep talking and asking on one thing.
What made me stop competing? Well, because I was watching guys that, hanging out with Bob Bonham, who owned a gym just like I owned a gym. Mm-hmm. He wasn't competing, but he was making so much money. Run one show, make $50,000. You know what I mean? So I was like, let me start getting into the promoting. So I started promoting shows for the NPC, the brand new NPC. I was there before Steve Weinberger. Steve Weinberger's shows, with the Atlantic states and the northern states, those were my shows first in the 80s. And then Carl Campagna, who was a piece of shit, was like taking more money from me than he should have been taking from the NPC. So I went to I started running shows for another organization, natural organization, but I was with the NPC for like 6-7 years, and running national shows. And I was assisting running the Miss Olympia with Bob Bonham. I was running the Women's Extravaganza with Bob. I wasn't running it. I was working for Bob. I let Bob ran it himself, but that's neither here nor there. But I'm just saying, that's why I did, because it started making money. The bodybuilders didn't start really making any money till now, not even now today. If you took away sponsorships, personal training, and drug dealing, bodybuilders would all have to get jobs. There's nobody, you can't make money in sport. You think, oh, wow, so-and-so, whatever, Mr. Olympia made, $500,000-$600,000. By the time he pays his coaching and the drugs and the food that you got to eat and all that stuff, that's nothing. It's nothing. the guy who rides the bench in baseball, just the minimum wage in baseball. If you even make the majors, if you spend one day on the team, you make like 650 or 675,000. That's minimum. That's what Mr. Olympia makes. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's nothing. There's no money in competing in. You got to look at these guys on YouTube. They're making how much money doing personal trainings, bullshit, YouTube videos, and all this shit, TikTok shit. Why you don't have to compete. They're making more money than Mr. Olympia. You know what I'm saying? So what's the big deal, right? That's why I quit, because I started making money. Started making real money. I was killing myself, and I come home. Look, I got a trophy. You know what I'm saying? Look, I just won I won the Atlantic States. I won the Eastern USA. And what do I get for winning the Eastern USA? I get a trophy. But then when I'm running a show, I'm bringing in $25,000, $35,000. You know what I mean? In one day. And it's cash, because most people pay for that shit with cash. This is the 80s. Now today you would use credit cards and shit. But
would you compete now if you were younger?
If I was younger, would I compete now? I don't know. I don't like bodybuilding anymore. I don't like the sport of it. I love the lifestyle. I don't know. I don't know. I like baseball, MMA. I would maybe do what George is doing, try to fight. If I was younger, maybe I might want to try to, you know what I mean? But I don't. What's that?
What's your favorite state you've been to? I live in Colorado. Have you been there?
No, I've never been to Colorado. But see, I don't like. I'm stuck in probably the liberalist of liberal states, New York, which is they're savages on the street here. You know what I mean? But if I moved out of here, it probably would be like a Florida, where people live a little bit more free, and is just like somebody can't just live in your house and take over your house. The squatting and all the shit that's allowed here in New York is just insane, man. My favorite state I've been to is I love New York. I'm a New York guy, bro. I'm sorry. It's in my blood. I've been to a lot of states, but New York, I was in California. I can't live there. I don't like all that flat sand look and shit with, stucco roofs and fucking palm trees. It's just not my thing,
Somebody asked, have you ever smoked marijuana?
No, I've never smoked marijuana.
Phil.
In case you're wondering, I'm drinking diet ginger ale. Okay. I'm out of root beer. Well, I'm not out of root beer. I have them over here, but I didn't open a new one yet. And this was already open, so this was my girlfriend, so I'm drinking it. Diet ginger ale. I don't even like ginger ale. But have you ever smoked marijuana? The babanya? No. The only babanya I like is the babanya you stick in your muscle. You inject.
How's Joe Matarazzo doing? Haven't heard about him in a while.
Joe Matarazzo. That's funny. Joe Matarazzo. You got to say it like an Italian. Joe Matarazzo. Yeah, he's doing good. Let's see here. Sheriff.
What was Craig Titus like?
I like Craig Titus. I get along with Craig Titus. I thought he was a good guy. You know what I mean? To me, I like Craig Titus, but he's not everybody's cup of tea. You know what I'm saying? He was good to me. I was friends with Kelly, his wife. She was really cute before she did all that facials. I know, I saw that. Why do they keep bringing that up? Did they bring it up again, or is that old?
No, I'm just saying that was old.
Yeah, I know, I saw it. Yeah, so I'm friends with Kelly. I'm friends with Craig. He was all right. I mean, I never had no problems with him. Him and Kamali didn't like each other. As a matter of fact, he was going to kill Kamali. And I was right there, and I'm friends with Kamali. I'd be in a club with him.
That account was just created this month. The one that's asking if you're friends with Tommy Tucker.
Yeah, I know. Weird. He told me who he was last week, but I don't remember. Joe Matarazzo is a nice guy. Let me see.
Back in the day, did you sell gear to pro bodybuilders?
He wanted to know, back in the day, did I sell gear to pro bodybuilders? Absolutely. Yes, I did. But I sold mostly to other drug dealers. I did have pro bodybuilders who were also drug dealers. I'm not going to say their names because they're still around. But they were drug dealers too. So yes, I did.
Mr. Jinx is asking, any empty houses in your neighborhood?
Is there any empty houses? Why, you want to move in, Mr. Jinx?
Do you like the vertical leg press or the 45-degree quick pump mask?
I like 45-degree. You mean the upside down leg press? Is that what you're asking me? Or the 40? The 45-degree. I don't like the one where you're upside down. Was Sandro's asking me, was Prima Bowling popular in the 80s? Yes, Prima Bowling was very popular. That's one of Arnold's favorite drugs. Prima Bowling was one of the, I know for a fact, I can tell you for a fact, Arnold liked Prima Bowling. That was one of his favorites.
Eric LeBuff, thanks for answering the questions. Catch you next week.
Oh, thank you, Eric. Thank you. I appreciate it. Sorry if I missed a question. Just keep asking it. And I'll get, she'll tell me and I'll get it.
Dylan asks, have you written any books?
Wait, somebody wants to know if are you going to let any illegals live with you? I got them living with me right now. What are you talking about? She's right there. Wait, I'm pointing. Yeah, it's actually that way. She's that way, but whatever. Yes. My girlfriend's whole family's friggin' illegal.
Any Pete Grimkowski?
Did you know Ray or Sally McNeil? She's out now. I knew Ray McNeil. I got pictures of me and Ray. He was a nice guy. But, I don't know what they do privately. I think I've met Sally, but I knew Ray. You know what I'm saying? What people do behind closed doors is a totally crazy thing. So I don't know anything about that. Mr. Jinx, cream soda. Yes, I love cream soda. Cream and root beer are my favorite. I usually don't drink this, but this was around, and it was already open. She had it, so I figured I'd take it.
Here an hour and a half now.
Yeah, I know. Good. No more of that shit.
Shout out, Miss. Were you an Anabar fan back in the day? David Gentleman?
Wait, shout out to Mrs. Valentino. They're calling you Ms. Valentino or whatever.
Hello.
Thank you. She's from Melbourne, Australia. Thank you, CK. What did you just ask me? Lou, what did you ask me?
Were you an Anavar fan back in the day?
Was I an Anavar fan? I took Anavar a small, little bit, not much. I don't like, I'm an androgen guy, man. I like fucking androgens. And Anavar was like, to me, you might as well give that to your girlfriend. I like, I'm an androgen. You show me, now, give me Anadrol or something like that. That's the shit I liked. Any Pete Gronkowski stories? Bradford wants to, is it Bradford? Yes. I told you I was there when Pete Gronkowski used to talk with me all the time. He used to tell me I look like Pete Siegel, but jacked. Pete Siegel was that head guy. You can Google him. I don't think I looked anything like him. He used to tell me, go like this. Well, you look like a bigger Pete Siegel because I was built. Pete Gronkowski used to play around with me. He was a really good guy. When he was big, he was really fucking big too. But I was actually talking with one of the Barbarian brothers when Gronkowski came over, okay, and said to one of the Barbarian brothers, go get your brother and let's go. You got to get the fuck out of here now. And that's because Lyle Alzado was coming down to kick their asses, and he basically threw them out of the gym for like 6 months because, Alzado said if I catch him in the gym, because they fucking wrecked Alzado's house, and Gronkowski had warned them, and it was this whole big riff. So I was standing right there. So I was actually talking with, I used to give the Barbarian brothers rides home. They were shot. Lyle Alzado versus Lawrence Taylor on the football field. Who do you got? Lawrence Taylor. Michael Dietz said drinking water. Yes, I drink water. I do drink water, but just, you know what? When I'm doing this, sometimes I got to have a little something sweet. You know what I mean? I do drink water all the time, but
who's taller, you or Lee Priest?
It depends on if Lee has heels on or not. I don't know. I'm 5'6". Sometimes I'm bigger. Sometimes he's bigger. You know what I mean? I love Lee, so we're close in height. Was Bob Gruskin gay? I think he was, but he didn't touch it, nothing like that. I mean, I was fucking stark naked downstairs in his basement because we used to pose and stuff, and he would, he wanted to see the lines. We probably wanted to get off seeing that, because he would tell me take your clothes off,
Beam 098. Does Dave take your tips from this channel?
Does Dave take my tips from this channel? I don't really get much tips on this channel, but no, why would he take? No, he doesn't take my tips. He does from his, yes. But not mine. Like if you send a tip, like if you wanted to tip one of the guys, right? You're better off sending it directly to them. Because if you say, here, this is for Lee, or if this is for Greg, or this is for Jimmy, or this is for George,
don't do that.
It's not going to go to them.
No.
I'm just going to tell you that now. He'll say, okay, all right, at the end of the year, but we don't get shit. So if you want to tip the person, you tip that person, you send a tip to that person themselves. So that's why. That's why when he said to Lee, "I'll give you $20 now or even," and Lee's like, "What? $20?" He's got a million tips that are worth $20. You know what I'm saying? And whatever.
Sandro Garcia, Greg, why do you think these bodybuilders now look like fridges instead of the cartoonish look in the 80s?
That's a good question, Sandro. He wants to know why do they look like
fridge?
Yeah, they look like refrigerators. I say that all the time. They're not. Every one of them look the same. They all got like these really broad shoulders, 40-inch ripped waists. You know what I'm saying? These giant ass like a fucking horse that's ripped like that, and these fucking legs. Every one of them has humongous legs. Back in the day, even if guys didn't have such big legs, they had shapely legs and everything. Everyone, they look like hams right now. Just these giant hams. I think the bodies are ugly. I don't think any one of these guys, no Mr. Olympia today, they have more muscle than the guys in the past, but their physiques are nothing like the guys in the past. Nothing like it. So I'm sorry, but I like the old school, but dude, even when you watch Arnold, go watch Pumping Iron. I still get like fucking like a kid watching that shit. Just when you see him bending over and he's doing those curls like this, you know what I mean? And he gets up and he shakes his fucking bicep, his big bicep with a vein come down. I don't know. Even the guys today are a lot bigger, but it doesn't impress me. It almost looks fake.
Yeah. Greg Alberto Aguilar says, why don't you post your crazy stories like you did with Generation Iron? Call it Gregg Valentino's Chronicles. I like that.
Okay, Alberto Aguilar. Lucia likes your idea. I was thinking about doing, story time here, which I should do because you have no idea. And, crazy shit follows me. People that know me know crazy shit follows me. I should put the story, do something like that. I'll think about it, I got a few things growing already with Generation Iron. So, I just talked to Vlad, called me 2 weeks ago. So we'll see what happens.
What does that mean? Greg, what is your ESPN stat? That's from Gianluca Bruno.
What is your ESPN
stat?
I don't know. I'm not sure what my stat. What do you mean? I was on ESPN. ESPN, it's E60. Gregg Valentino, Super Freak. Google that. You'll see it on there. I don't know what you mean by my stat, though. I'm not sure. Ever had any run-ins with John Matuzek? No, John Matuzek was a big motherfucker. I never met him, though. He was like 6-something, like 6'7", 6'8". You would see the photo of my grandfather in 1951. The teardrop. Wait, I can't see what that guy was saying. Hold on. How do you do this shit?
You should see the photo of my grandpa in 1951. The teardrop in his legs was insane.
What was his grandfather?
Skip Milligan.
Skip, was your grandfather a bodybuilder? Or just had, like, my father was not a bodybuilder, but my father worked out a little bit, obviously stay in shape. And my father was an athlete when he was young. But my father had such big calves, like Mike Matarazzo. Paul DeMeo used to tell me a story that he used to say he would drive to Matarazzo and him were kind of rivals, that kind of like, where I live, like one high school versus this high school, they were kind of rivals a little bit, but they became friends. And he said he would drive to Matarazzo's neighborhood and he would see Matarazzo outside mowing the lawn. And he said he had these giant calves. Even when he was into boxing, before he was into bodybuilding, he was known to have these giant calves. Well, my father was like that. My father used to wear these like fried boots, and he used to have them cut because they wouldn't fit on the calf muscle. He couldn't pull them up because the calf muscle, So my father had really big calves. So it's it's kind of genetics, So, I'm not sure, if you meant your grandfather just had these wicked genetics to have real muscular legs or what, but that's, that's good. Or if he worked out.
GH and insulin ruined bodybuilding, in my opinion.
Yes, all that shit. GH, IGF, insulin definitely destroyed bodybuilding.
Also, I think the Mass Monster direction is due to not just Dorian, but Steve, who is head judge once Lee Haney retired.
What about Lee Haney? I was just reading what.
Also, I think the Mass Monster direction is due to not just Dorian, but Steve, who is head judge once Lee Haney retired.
Well, yeah, the Mass Monster thing just came on with more drugs. As bodybuilding evolves, and now you got SARMs and SERMs and all these other fucking peptides and all these other things. As new drugs come in, these guys take a drug for every process, a drug to digest the food, a drug to to boost their thyroid, a drug to stop cortisone, a drug, they have drugs to make you more tan. You know what I mean? They have a drug just, instead of going into tanning bed, they'll take melanotan. They'll still go into tanning bed, get darker. It's God forbid you do it without it's just, that's what I'm saying. It's too much. Gianluca Bruno said that you brought it up one time. It was about the ESPN. I don't know what I brought it up saying I was on the show. I don't know about a stat though. What does a stat mean? So I'm just not sure what you mean by that.
Questions from two different people that kind of go together. It says,
go ahead. What?
Ananda Project, Greg, who did you think had the best physique apart from Arnold? And then Sandra Garcia says, who are your three favorite physiques?
Who had the best physique aside from Arnold?
Arnold the Prodigy.
Oh, okay. I mean, I liked Arnold because I grew up, just like I still like Babe Ruth. You know what I mean? I'm one of those. You know what I mean? I love Victor Martinez's physique. I know Victor. We're really close friends. You know that. I've known him before he was even a, pro bodybuilder and everything. I think that Victor Martinez's physique, because Victor never has a big waist. He's never bloated. He doesn't have the belly sticking out. He's always got that V taper. I like that. I liked Francis Benfato's build. He was not a big, tall guy. He was small. I've met him. I oiled up fucking Leela Brada was at my house again for a couple of days here and before the 88 Olympia, 2 weeks before the 88 Olympia, I oiled Lee up. Leela Brada's body was amazing. You know what I mean? They're not huge, but they have some. Even Samir, when Samir was Mr. Olympia, I like those kind of like sleek lines that he had. That's just me though. You know what I mean? I like those kind of builders. Francis Benfato had a great body, though. Benfato. But my favorite's probably Victor Martinez because he had mass size, V taper, small joints, and he looks great in clothes. If you saw Victor, he doesn't look like a refrigerator wearing clothes.
Glad to see Greg on YouTube since no one watches TV anymore. From Bean098.
Bean098, thank you so much. Since nobody watches TV, I get what he's saying. He meant because Dave said that.
No, I know.
But QT Tan, yes, that's old school. Kevnik, don't mind me, but I forgot who that is. That's not Bobby Dodona. That's somebody else, isn't it? I remember Bobby Dodona was somebody else last week. Let's see here. Babe Ruth, that's ancient LO. Yeah, but I like guys who dominated. Babe Ruth was so... home run Baker was the big home run hitter who hit 9 home runs, in a year. Then Babe Ruth comes in and hits like 60. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I like that. I like Wayne Gretzky. He was like a man playing amongst kids. It's like Michael Jordan, a man playing amongst children. You know what I'm saying? You got all these other guys now that could break those records, but they're playing in a different era with different balls and different training and different, watching. Imagine Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth did it on, what's the old famous saying? Babe Ruth did it on hot dogs and beer. Right? All these other guys are, they're in training to watch videos of pitches, the balls, now made. Back in Babe Ruth's day, the fucking balls were hand sewn, bats were whittled out of wood and shit. Today they grow special trees, have hardeners on the bats and shit. You know what I'm saying? Balls are like fucking, it's like a lacrosse ball. You know what I mean? You drop a baseball today, it bounces way up here. Drop an old school baseball, it bends down here. You know what I mean? Babe Ruth did it in an era where it was impossible to do that shit. Today, fucking, imagine if they had gyms and Babe Ruth lost that gut and shit like that. Babe Ruth was also a pitcher like Ohtani, but he wasn't doing shady shit like Ohtani. What?
Would you share the story of the misunderstanding of you and Victor Richards? He was afraid of fighting you? That's from
Ernesto Rodriguez. No, Ernesto Rodriguez. Victor Richards was not afraid of fighting me. Victor Richards, he was afraid of fighting Mike Christian went after him, and I saw him shit his pants. Now, he wasn't afraid of fighting me. He was just like, I don't think he could fight. He was a big guy, but he was being a dick, and he was asking me to treat him like, I was spotting him. But he would ask me, go get those dumbbells and bring them over here. And I'd have to take, these are like fucking 250, 260-pound dumbbells. And I'd have to, they're like fucking, they're like huge. And, I can't lift that shit up. I'm over there. I weighed 175 pounds at the time, or 170. I'd have to roll the fucking dumbbell over. Then he'd want me to help pick it up, and he'd pick it up and put it in his one arm and pick out the other, help him pick up the other one, put it in the other arm, then spot him, push off and his hand, he had oil on his body, and I had 2 hands. He used to bitch because my hands would slide when because he had oil on his arms. So when I stopped doing the oil, after he bitched, I have these little hand sponges I use when I train. I even use them to this day. So I put them on his elbows, and I was spotting him, and it worked. And then the Barbarian brother started asking me, "Why are you going? What are you doing? Why are you putting sponges on there and shit? What are you doing with that shit?" And I said, "Well, he's got oil on his arms, and my arms are slipping, and he's screaming at me." And so they start making fun of, what are you doing, oiling up your arms, and blah 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 blah, and this, that, the other thing. So I'm like, holy shit! So now he instead of Victor. Jacob Semino, thank you so much.
Do you think that movie stars are in gear? Just saw Zac Efron in the
Yeah, I'm gonna get to, that's a good question, Jacob. I'm gonna answer that in 1 second. The answer is yes, but let me elaborate on that for you. Jacob, thank you. I'm gonna elaborate on that. I promise you. 1 second. So instead of Victor Richards getting mad at them, like, why are you breaking my balls? He turned to me and he said, why do you have to tell them that? I said, what do you want me to do? You got oil. It's obvious. You can see it. You know what I mean? You're screaming at me. Come on. Because my hands would be sliding like this, and I was having trouble spotting them. And I told him, you're screaming at me. You're acting like an idiot. And he started going. They started calling me little man. Little man. Little man, you better shut the fuck up, little man. Little man, like that. So I started getting pissed off. And, here he is. He's like almost fucking 300 pounds, 1981. I'm fucking, I don't even think I was 170. I was maybe a 165. But, I was lighter than I was half the size of the dumbbell he lifted, So, we started arguing. And I thought in my head, okay, if this guy comes at me, I'm going to kick him so hard in the fucking nuts and then throw a right hook. You know what I mean? But he didn't. He was just standing there popping at the mouth, and then I started telling me like, fuck you and that shit. And I said to him the stupidest thing on the planet. I said, bro, I'm from New York, bro. I'm not afraid of you. Which is the stupid. I look back now and I was like, oh my God, did I really say that? But it worked. He didn't do a fucking thing about it. So whatever. All right. Now let me get to, I like Jacob's question here. And Jacob, thank you. I appreciate the tip. Zac Efron was totally on steroids. And I know that, that there's a lot of guys taking it. If you remember on After Hours, Richard Rodriguez, who's a good guy. I get along really well with him. He's a friend of mine. He went to jail, and Johnny Bravo did a great video on this. And they had a client list of all the clients that Richard was dealing with. And he was dealing with a lot of movie stars. Okay. And I'm not sure if Zac Efron was one of them. I don't remember, but I know that Mark Wahlberg was one of them. And so was, I think The Rock might have been one of them. Might have been. I can't remember, but I know that one of the Helmsworth brothers was on there, was on that list. John Bravo did a great video on it. And, I know Richard dealt to all of those movie stars, all those big movie stars. Look at Brad Pitt in the movie Troy. Did you ever see him? Hector! When he's standing there and he's jacked. This is Brad Pitt. Okay? Do you remember the movie where, what's his name? Emilio Estevez comes up at it. What? Not Emilio Estevez. Did you read that whole? Wait a minute. Hold on. What's Emilio Estevez? What's that guy named the brother there? Fucking whatever. He comes up out of the water. He played that Rambo character. He was all jacked. There's a lot of movie stars that take steroids. A lot.
He got a lot of likes on his comment there, the Jacob guy.
Yeah. All right, hold on 1 second, guys. I got to urinate really bad. Don't go away. Hold on. And you don't say a word.
Why?
Well, why don't you sit in front of there?
That's what they want. What was I going to say to you? Gianluca Bruno asked.
Okay. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry.
Lucia asked Greg.
Woo!
Lucia asked Greg.
I would pee like a man.
Can
What?
I finish reading?
Go ahead, read the question. Jesus
Lucia
Christ.
asked
I need a new producer. Go ahead. John, look at Lucia asked Greg, I think, is that he was the first bodybuilder to have a special on ESPN. I'm the only bodybuilder to ever have special on ESPN. They've never featured another bodybuilder. I'm the only one. You know, and they tried to catch me with the steroid shit. That was the whole idea. If you watch
Somebody said they met you in Suffern years ago.
They met me where?
In Suffern, New York.
I don't know. Where in Suffern did you meet me? Who said it?
Capital Leader.
Capital Leader. I'm not sure. Where in Suffern? Where were we? But anyway, getting back to the question about this movie stars. Richard Rodriguez has a whole client list of all these movie stars, famous guys that he was selling steroids to, and they were all shitting their pants when he got arrested. You know, and it's a legit list. I mean, it's like a DEA list.
He said that Dorian Yates said on Joe Rogan's show years ago that all these dudes are taking it.
Yeah, of course. Listen to me. If you had a daughter, if any of you guys have a daughter, let's say she's 15 years old, okay, or you have a cousin that's 15, it's a girl, and she says to you, oh my God, Brad Pitt's so cute, or Tom Cruise is hot. You wouldn't go, hey, come on, he's 60 years old. It works, right? Do you see Sylvester Stallone, right? We all know he's taking shit, for Christ's sake, but look what he did to his face with all the Botox shit. Jesus. Anyway, when Sylvester Stallone does a movie, dude, he's like 76 years old or whatever he is, right? He might even be 77 now. Do you see him with a 70-year-old woman as his mate in the movie? No. He's with you like a 30-year-old chick. You know what I'm saying, right? And it works. You know why? Because he looks good still. All right? You see Denzel Washington or any of those guys. Denzel Washington's like 67, 68, 69. He couldn't even be 69. You know, Tom Cruise is like a year or two younger than me. Brad Pitt's like 60. All these guys, today they're in good shape. They look young. They do hormone replacement and other things like that. They don't. And when I was younger, if you were 60 years old, you played a part. Guys, did you ever watch Sanford and Son? Did you ever watch Sanford and Son, right? Remember Fred Sanford? This is the big one, Elizabeth. Hold on. So he's like this. This is the big one, Elizabeth, right? Remember that? The old man who run the junkyard with his son, Lamont, right? He was only 52 to 54 years old. He died in his 50s. He was like 52 years old when I'm fucking more than 10 years older than that old man that you see in that. When you watch Sanford and Son, and you see him with that gray beard and that scruffy hair and walking around with a shuffle like an old man, Lamont did the big one, Elizabeth. You know, when you see that motherfucker, I love that show, by the way. I used to watch it all the time back when it was like a new show in the 70s. That fucking guy is more than 10 years younger than I am today. So if I was on that show looking the way I look right now, me, this right here, me, I'd be fucking more than 10 years older than him. You understand? I'd be Lamont's grandfather. I'm way older than that guy. And meanwhile, I look like an old man. Because what it is today, with all the shit going on today, people taking care of themselves. You know, you never saw like, you know, healthy foods. When I was younger, there was no like healthy, you know, I remember like Snackwells came out, you know what I mean? Oh, they're, you know, fat-free cookies. Meanwhile, they're loaded with sugar. There's more sugar in Snackwells than there are in regular cookies. But the thing is, between the, you know, now today got healthy foods, better supplements, and the babanya right there, it's, you know, hormone replacement therapy. So there you go.
Somebody was asking, hey, Greg, do you remember Anita Handjob?
Yeah, I need a hand job. I need a blow job, too.
Oh, my God, I didn't get that.
You're stupid, that's why. That's so stupid. I need a hand job. How old are you? This fucking guys. That's funny. You know? Do you know Dick Hertz from Holden? You know, stupid shit like that. I remember all those stupid things. I need a hand job. My girlfriend's stupid. She's like, oh my God, I just caught that.
Well, I think they're being
She's going to give me a hand job later.
I think they're being funny because they're rating again over here. Greg, what do you think about the new bodybuilder, Lou Sassel?
Lou Sassel. Never heard of him.
Maybe they're saying Lou's asshole.
Yeah, Lou's asshole. You remember? If you remember protein powder in the 1980s, you had to hold your nose to drink it. Yeah, you're talking. You mean it wasn't protein powder? You're talking about those fucking amino acid drinks. They were horrible. They tasted like urine. You know what I mean? But you know what's funny? You know what they taste like? You know, stomach bile, like when you dry heave. You know what I mean? If you puked and you dry heave, that's what they taste like. But that's because they were probably really amino acids. Because real amino acids taste like shit. You know, they was. I remember Nature's Best made it. And it was thick and soupy, and you were like, "Oh God!" You had to drink that shit. And it was horrible. You had to drink it real fast. It was so tardy and nasty. Multi-power, yes. Okay, Kevnik, I get what you're trying to do. I forgot who he is. I think he told me last week or whatever. Tell me again, unless you're like one of us. I kind of like it. I just know who I am. Greg, could you please?
Please me? What?
Greg,
That's
could you?
That guy from Australia. PM me? What?
I don't know what he's asking me. Can you please me? How do you want me to please you?
God.
I don't know what you're asking me. So, wait. Did you know Don the Ripper? Don Ripper
advice.
Savage Ross. Yes, I knew Don Ross. Absolutely. I knew him very well.
Can you give him advice on powders? What?
Love his passion for bodybuilding and any stories about the Golden Eagle Tom Platz. I know Tom. Tom's a great guy. Tom, the real good stories is when he got his ass kicked by Jeep Swenson because he took Jeep's girl, Cheryl, who I think he wound up marrying because I remember Cheryl Platz. But yeah, it was outside Gold's Gym. I didn't see the fight. I saw the aftermath of the fight. I was out there when it calmed Jeep Swenson down and Tom was all fucked up.
Advice on powders. Insert Popeye whistle. What?
I'm not sure if I know what you mean, CK. Meant to say, could you give me advice on powders?
Will these live streams be weekly?
Yeah, they'll be weekly. Yes, the live streams will be weekly. I don't know what you're at. That's like you're asking me a load of questions. It's like saying, could you give me advice on training biceps? Well, what do you want to know? Do you want concentration curls, barbell curls, Smith curls? What do you want to do? What do you want? Weights, reps, sets, which machine to use, free weights? I'm not sure. You're asking me a load of questions. Powders. What do you mean? Protein powder? You want advice? Take it only when needed. You don't need to take it all day, all night, or you're going to get bad gas and nobody's going to want to be around you. Insert the Popeye also. Let me see here. Did you know Rick Drayson? Yes, I did show with Rick Drayson. If you go online, Google Gregg Valentino, Rick Drayson, you see I was on a show. Sure. Oh, and see, I don't know what these guys are asking me. There's guys who are like saying things like,
Greg, any advice on maca and ashwagandha?
I take ashwagandha once in a while. Right now, I can't take it because supposedly it's not the greatest thing for your liver. So I got to watch all that shit because of what just happened to me. But ashwagandha usually is good for like relaxation and stuff like that. Don't believe that. What do you mean with the doctor? No. Don't believe all that shit. Like I saw like the commercials, like, ashwagandha, for GNC helps to boost testosterone. Bullshit. Dude, anything that works is going to be prescription. Just take the Bobanya. Stop fucking around. You know what I mean? You want to boost your testosterone? Fill a syringe. Bang! There you go. That's it. With a little Bobanya. That's what you do. Big Ramy versus Victor Richards. Victor Richards was so much bigger than Big Ramy. I know Big Ramy's wide, but he's not thick like. Victor Richards is a fucking absolute monster. And you're talking about a guy from the early 80s as opposed to a guy. Can you imagine the drugs today with Victor Richards? Oh, my God. He'd be 400 pounds. He never got no gut bloat or anything. He still had a small waist. His legs if you cut his legs like this, it'd be as round as a 45-pound plate. And this is in the 80s.
And then, Prodigy, what's going on with your health now? Are you out of the woods?
What's going on with my health? Am I out of the woods? I'm not out of the woods, but I'm getting out of the woods. My health is okay. I still have like pancreatitis. I have to wait another month. They told me today. I have to wait another month, and then we're going to set up the operation. Then I have to have my gallbladder taken out. Because what happened to me, I almost died. I didn't even realize it was that bad. You know what I mean? Because the stone got stuck in one of my bile duct. But it blocked up everything. It blocked up my pancreas, which caused pancreatitis. Now I got a little necrosis on the pancreas. I caused fatty liver. The liver blew up because it's like My doctor explained it like if there was a highway, you're driving on a massive highway with a lot of traffic, and all of a sudden there's an accident. Now the traffic's backed up for miles. That's what happened. I mean, the stone blocked the duct, caused the backup everything. So now I have liver, pancreas, and gallbladder problems. Plus, I had E. coli poisoning, and it was in sepsis. So it was like, my skin was as yellow as a banana, and my eyes were as yellow as egg yolks. You know what I mean? It was bad. I didn't know I was that sick. When they first did the first operation on me, where they went down ERCP and all this other bullshit, and I had to take the stone out, they could not take the gallbladder out then because they said your whole insides there in that area are all fucking really swollen and in trouble. And we have to let that calm down. Otherwise, the operation, if we did it, it's going to be a big operation and there's going to be trouble. So I'm okay. I feel okay, but I was told today, talked to my doctor today, that the pancreas has some necrosis and it's still a little swollen. They're trying to let the pancreas go down. I don't feel it, but that's it. So that's my health update. It has nothing to do with steroids. It has nothing to do with anything other than the fact that we all have stones in our gallbladder. It's normal. Just that in my case, somehow or other, one popped out and went down the fucking wrong drain.
John Smith said,
and that's it.
Hate talking about medical shit. Heal up, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate that, John Smith.
I agree.
You guys asked me, so I told you. I don't really
No. He's I know where he's coming from.
Yeah, no, I know. So that's it. So I'm okay. I'm still working out. I'm going to take a shot, my weekly shot of testosterone when the show's over. I'm going to take a shot, and I'm going to love every minute of it. Then I'm going to give her a shot in the can. Her, right there. I'm going to give her a shot in the can, and then that's it. So I'm going to take a shot, and she's going to get a shot.
Somebody wrote, a man is over here recovering from near-death experience, and people are asking, do you use X?
No. Well, I got to be honest with you. All joking aside, tell you, the one doctor, don't take testosterone. She's short hair, look like a dude. You know what I mean? Don't take testosterone. It's so bad for you. Oh my God, you have no idea what you're doing. But if I was a girl, she'd be like, take the testosterone. It's so good for you. Anyway, I don't listen to her. My other doctor's like, take it, fuck. All right, don't listen to her. My other doctor. And you know what? It's good because it helps to recuperate. It helps me bring back my, I don't get jacked. When I take testosterone, so I take it 200 milligrams every 10 days or every week. Right now I'm pushing it to like every week, like every 7 days. And because I need it a little bit more now. But the thing is, when I take it, I'm not like, holy shit, look at the size of me. I don't need to take it for that. It doesn't do anything to my physique. Really, it does something to me inside. I feel better recuperation, but I also feel better in the cabezo, right? I feel more energy. None of the joints don't hurt. You know what I mean? It's just that it's a beautiful thing. Oh my God, I feel so emotional about it right now. No, I do. I like it. Sorry, it's I love it, and I'll do it for as long as I can do it, and as long as it doesn't affect me, hurt me in a negative way, it's only helping me. Again, my fucking cancer doctor's like, don't listen to these bitches, do it. You know what I mean? He's a cancer doctor, I mean, he said, and he's not just some Momo cancer doctor. He's like the leading doctor, Eric Gendon. Google him, Gen, not J, it's a G, Genden, Eric Gendon, Mount Sinai Hospital. That's my doctor. Google his credentials. He's to throat doctor, cancer doctors. He's God to them. You know what I mean? Like your doctor's Eric Gendon. Because he's like, he's on the cutting edge.
Do you get it prescribed? If so,
yes, I get it prescribed. Yes, no, I get it from CVS.
Why did Chris Aceto use a pork chop to slick his hair back?
What does Chris Aceto use? Chris Aceto combs his hair with a pork chop. Yeah, because I always say that because he looks like he just woke up, just got out of bed. His hair's greasy. He's like fucking runs his fingers through his hair. But him and Dave, when they start talking about bodybuilding, I sit there and I'm like, like that, because I don't believe in any of that shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe none of that stuff. I believe they're all like all that shit's they bore the shit out of me. I could fall asleep watching that shit.
Somebody sent one.
Shadowback. Thank you so much. Hi, Greg. Why didn't Aaron Baker place higher? Good question. because Aaron Baker is a nice guy. If you saw him, I know Aaron Baker, but if you saw him, when you see him in person, you think, look at the size of this guy, because he's big, he's massive, he's thick, and he looks rugged. But then when he talks to you, he's so soft and everything. Like, he's a very good guy. I haven't now you're bringing up a name that I haven't seen him in friggin' since the 90s. So I don't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's selling cars or he's working out still. I have no clue. But he was a really nice guy, and it's a good question why he didn't place higher. I think he had everything, to be honest with you. He was really, even when I would see him in person, he was jacked, bro. He was really jacked and thick. Not just jacked, but dense. He had that like Bertil Fox type look, but he was broader than Bertil Fox. Bertil Fox, I've met Bertil Fox to his shoulders, but he's narrow. He was more like compressed, compact. But Baker was huge. But thank you, my brother. I appreciate that. Why can't they make tests as easy to get as estrogen? Well, you got the wrong people. Like, Joe Biden's the one who lobbied to get testosterone, put the kibosh to testosterone. You know that, right? Joe Biden's the one who did that. So, now you got that guy calling the shots. Look what he's doing now. God, you can't mention God anymore. God's a transvestite. It's insanity. It's crazy. Like Obama, when he became president, that demon, oh, wow, transgenders have the right to use the female bathroom. Bro, I hate to tell you, I guess you never been to the Sound Factory, but you got guys and girls using the same, but trannies standing up peeing in the urinals and shit like that back in the 90s. I don't know what you're talking about. They didn't need your permission. They've been doing that since you were fucking sucking Michelle's dick. But anyway, what's good background noise? I must be missing something here. Wait, why can't the higher chance of dying without tea? Aaron had a great physique. Yes, he did. Trump baby. Yes, 100%. Let's go, Brendan. Yes, I agree, 100%. What's going on, Harry Nutt? What are you doing, Harry, my brother? Long live Emperor Biden. Yeah. Try to getting TRT in the UK. Good luck with. It's because those, you got to remember, the United States sets the, when you have trouble getting shit overseas, and unless you're in a place like Thailand or something where they don't give a fuck what the United States does, but places like England and all those other places, they all follow suit. You know what I'm saying? So once one liberal runs everything, these are like lefty, insane liberals. Because I don't give a shit if you're gay, straight, if you want to be a woman or whatever. I don't give a fuck what you want to do. Okay, so I don't care. That means shit to me. I don't give a fuck. If you want to smoke pot, guy, go smoke pot. I don't care. But when you have push shit on me that I have to fucking play your game, then I care.
Dude, it's worse getting TRT in Australia and in the Prodigy.
That's what I'm saying. That's because those countries are all fucking run by liberal fuckos. You know what I mean? Mike Dietz and I, we used to, back in the day, we were watching Yankees, slinging weights, and dropping some testosterone at night, right, Mike? A little Steris, never hurt nobody. A little Steris testosterone, right? It was a beautiful thing. We'd be watching the Yankees on the boob tube up there in the gym. We had a great time at that gym. Sometimes we even get a little food. We get Crazy Dave to go to the diner and shit, if he finds his way. Oh, Mike, I miss those days so much, man. I miss that gym.
It's 10.
Yeah, okay.
Greg, are you still going to do something with Chaos? Utopian Seeker.
Am I still doing something with Chaos Nutrition? No. I have nothing against them. The guy, the Godfather cast. No. Unless he does, I was doing it through Joe Pietaro with Chaos. Now, Joe and I are still friends. I'll still do stuff with Joe. I still do stuff with Joe. I write the column, which used to be Ramblin' Freak. Now it's called Talking Smack, but I still work for Joe. I just don't do the Chaos show anymore because, that's between Joe and him. That was through Joe. So if Joe and him mend fences and decide they want to do that again, then I'll do it again. But as of right now, no. Duds Gaming. How you doing? Dubs Gaming. I'm sorry. Don't mind me. I can't see shit. I gotta stick my face in because my girlfriend's really slow.
Yeah. Okay.
Slow Jam Bub. Greg, stay healthy. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate that. The snake pig. Get Leon, Greg. I would love to. I'll get him on one of these days. Lee's my boy. You guys know that. He's my good friend.
I miss the good old veteran.
I'm trying to read because
Lee sucks. Get Jimmy on.
that's funny. You guys are funny.
Shadowback.
Shadowback, thank you. Is it true Matarazzo hated stuck-up guys in the gym? Yes. Oh, yes. He didn't like if you thought who the fuck you were. There was a guy I told you walking around with his lats out, and me and Mike were talking, and we were at the barbell rack, where the barbells are rolled, like fixed barbells like that. And we were at the barbell rack talking, and Mike was leaning on there like this, like where I'm leaning on this chair. And I was, we were chatting, me and him, and then this guy comes over and walks around. The guy kept walking by us, and he'd have his lats sticking out like this, And he was actually a tall, big guy. And Mike would look at him, and he would look, and he was looking at Mike, and he'd, as soon as he saw Mike look at him, he'd like put his lats out even further, and he'd take the bar off the rack, and he'd go do something, and he'd look at Matarazzo, and he kind of like would flex his arm a little bit when he's carrying it, and Matarazzo would be like this, looking at him, and come back over, sees Matarazzo again, flexing his lats and shit, and and he's walking away, and he looks at Matarazzo. Matarazzo was like this to him, like, suck my dick. You know what I mean? And the guy's like, what? What did you say? And he said, and Matarazzo went like this to go after him, and he fucking dropped the barbell and ran. I mean, like, Mike, I could tell you a bunch of stories like that with Matarazzo. Matarazzo was a good guy. He was one of the guys. He's that if you, I don't know, do you have a friend? Didn't you ever have a friend that, he's a bit, tough guy, bad motherfucker. He's the nicest guy in the world, great guy. But when you had an asshole around, like he had zero tolerance for assholes. That's the way Matarazzo was. Greg, Matarazzo could back it up, though. I can tell you that right now. Facts.
Greg, my ex-neighbor was a bodybuilder in the 70s from here in Bayside. Many of you competed with him, Mike Chichi.
I don't know him. No, I don't. I don't know where he competed, and it could be in the 70s when during the 70s I was competing as a teenager. So I might know him if I saw him. The name sounds a little familiar to me. I might know him, but not sure. Kevnick, you're funny. Not as big as Bob Henry.
What's your favorite?
You're right.
What's your favorite?
You're funny, Kevnick.
What's your favorite Mexican food, Alan Espejo?
What's my favorite Mexican food? My girlfriend's box. You set me up for that. Get it? My girlfriend, she's Mexican. I don't eat Spanish food. I'm not into spicy food, so I don't like cilantro. To me, that's like eating soap. I don't like anything with spice to it. Onions, garlic, I don't eat that shit. That's me. She eats all that shit. She'll take fucking hot sauce and drink it. She'll eat a ghost pepper. It won't affect her. She'll sit and sweat. Her and her father and mother sit here, and they'll be eating shit. Hey, they'll be sitting here, and they'll be, like eating that shit and fucking the sweat coming down their face with all that hot ghost pepper shit. They eat that shit. I won't go near that. You're out of your mind. That's acid. Why don't you just drink battery acid? I would never do that shit.
I'm on the phone with battery.
Well, tell her to call back. I got to finish doing this. Hey, Greg, what's your favorite? Oh, we read that already. Mike Dietz, the best. I miss those days, buddy. Yeah, Mike Dietz was my boy. We trained together in the gym for a long time, many years. We went through a lot of bad shit together too around the same time, and it was cool. But the gym was like our domain, our sanctuary. You had a bad day, you get to that gym. We had all fucking characters in that gym too, right, Mike? We had a bunch of characters in there. We trained at nights. We did whatever the fuck we wanted. It was great. The testosterone was flowing. Let's just say that. I'd have all my drug dealing friends coming in there at night. Shit, that was crazy. Those were great times. I missed that, Mike. By the way, you guys, Mike was the big bouncer there with the Jersey Shore on the boardwalk at Seaside Heights when he'd see all the fucking Jersey Shore kids would come in his club and stuff. Those were the days, huh, Mike? Good days. I miss those days. I miss all those people too. We had a great time. The best. I loved it. I miss those. He was in New York. He was in the New York Nationals. Well, back then the Nationals was cool. Like they called it the Mr. America in the 70s. I still might know him. Let's go. Yes. Big Guns. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Let's go, Brendan. Still can't wait for the shoulder video. Yes, thank you. I'm glad you called it the shoulder because it's not just delts, it's shoulder. I do traps with my shoulders. Now I haven't trained my shoulders in a long time because I don't need to. They're really jacked and they stay built. And it's one of those body parts I get hit, with just training. They grow for me now. But I'm going to show you how to really fucking, because I train, when I do it, I do each body part. You got front delt, side delt, rear delt, then trap for me. Some of you guys don't like to do trap with your back. I don't like that. But for me, I do it with the shoulders. So that's 4 body parts: side delts, front delts, rear delts, and traps. And I always do rear delts first. Everybody else does fucking pressing and all that shit. And then these, and you're doing everything for your front delt, but you're not doing anything for your side and rear. And that's what gives you the caps. Valley from the Valley. Oh, Jesus. Is that Ronnie? Ronnie, is that you? Is that you, Ronnie? Ronnie, if that's you, hit me up. I think you have my number. If it's you, call me or text me or something like that. Text me. I don't keep the phone on me. Like right now, somebody's calling me. I have no idea. But if that's you, text me, and then we'll get together when you're around here. I knew you missed me a few times. You were like calling me when I was in the hospital with my father dying and shit. That's why we were missing each other and stuff. And then my sister too. So, but if that's you, Ronnie, let me know. Ronnie's my boy. And if that's you, then Mikey Dietz. What else? Let's see here. Definitely got to get Snooki on the show. I know Snooki very well. She was dating my friend for the longest time. That's why when you see the pictures of me and her, if you go on my Instagram again, blah 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 blah, you see pictures of me and Snooki. Greg, my man, I heard you tell a Dr. O story. You didn't mention. Hold on, 1 second, Greg. Wait, Greg, you didn't mention you were mad because he didn't send you. Yes. Okay. I'm sorry, Todd. Your thing was going up. Todd Morrissey's asking me about when I said Dr. O. That's what the doctor who said to me when he was sticking his finger up my ass. Oh, your ass is so clean. You're fucking so clean back there. And I, because I was making jokes, he didn't send me flowers the next day. You're going to call me? I mean, at least, buy me dinner for this, like as a joke, no, but you're right, Todd, he was a panic. I hope he's still alive, that poor guy, because I can't picture him surviving in that thing. Oh, Terminator Juice. Thank you so much, my brother. So, bro, how you feeling? Thanks for another live stream. Any question? Did you take aspirin with ephedrine? And no, what's funny? It's funny you asked me about the aspirin. See, I don't like aspirin with the ephedrine. I know that's like people think that is a fat burn, the way all that with caffeine, the aspirin, the aspirin, caffeine, ephedrine thing. I don't like aspirin because aspirin fucks your stomach up. Without a doubt, if you keep taking aspirin, you're going to get you can get an ulcer and shit like that. I don't like anything to do with stomach stuff. I don't need that to fly. A little piece of ephedrine. I had ephedrine the other day in the gym. And I always tell guys, I take a little crumb. And my friend who watches After Hours all the time, he's an After Hours, junkie. He was with me and I said to him, hey, his name is Vinny. I said, Vinny, check this out. See this? This is an ephedrine. It's a primatine. Okay, because primatine now, normal galphasin, however you say that word, gorfasin, or whatever, however you say that word, it's pure ephedrine, but there's 2 pills or a dose. Okay, so it's 12.5 and 12.5 together. Those 2 pills equal 25 milligrams of ephedrine, and that's what the old school dimetrodines and all the old school ephedrines were 25 milligrams. So I take half of one of those. So if one is 12.5, I'm taking literally like it's a little bit more than six. That's it, 6 milligrams. So I bite it like this, and I was showing my friends, say, look, see that? That's a crumb. That's half of a half. All right. And I can fly off of that. I feel really good and strong. I don't want to fly. I don't want to go to the moon. I just want to coast. I want to soar with the eagles. I don't want to go up there with the spacemen. So I don't like to go too much because then it fucks you up. If you fly too high, it almost goes the opposite. And when you come down, man, you crash. So small bit of ephedrine. I don't need it to mix it with caffeine. I don't need to mix it with no aspirin. I know the whole fat burning theory and all that shit. I just don't like anything that fucks your stomach up like that. Like aspirin will fucking give you ulcers if you take it every day. You got to watch. Even a baby aspirin, they tell you now to buy the coated ones, that they're coated. C-O-A-T, not coated. You know what I mean? So it doesn't affect your stomach because it can affect your stomach very easily. So there's the answer to that. But ephedrine by itself is my baby. And don't get the fucking bronchate. That's ephedrine sulfate. It's not the same. Primatine is ephedrine HCl. Ephedrine, however you want to say it. HCl, hydrochloric. That's the one. That's like the old school White Crosses, dimetrodine, the D&E, all them TNM. They all made those things. Those little mini White Crosses that you would take and you'd be like, whoa, take that shit and you're going to, bro, you'll love it. But don't get the bronchate. Everybody's, I take bronchate. That's ephedrine sulfate. Fuck that shit. It's not the same. The sulfate is not going to do what HCl does. You do that HCl and don't go too much. It's always best whenever you're going to do any energy shit. Doesn't matter if you're drinking a Bang. I drink Bangs and shit. I take 2 sips. That's it. 1, 2. That's it. That's all I take. If I feel I need more, I add. I'll take another sip. I can't take a whole can of Bang and drink the whole thing. No way. Fuck that. 1 to 2 sips first, then I add if I needed it. Because once you feel it bring you up and you're starting to go, you don't need more. If you took you do what I do, you take a half of a half, right? And if you need a little more, you could always take a little bit more. But if you take too much, you can't get that shit out of you. You're going to ride it out, and it's not going to be nice. I want to feel good. I want to feel strong. I don't want to be so fucked up that the heart's like this. And I'm in there, dude, I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack. No, bro, I don't know. I'm sweating really bad. I need to sit down and relax. Because now you're so high up there, it's almost works the opposite. You're almost tired. So don't do that shit. Do what I tell you, okay? I'm the king of that shit. Trust me. So, anyway. But thank you for the question, Terminator. All right, let's see. Behold, I have returned Skip Mulligan. I could thank you. From 12 to 2 a.m. Yes, from 12 to 2 a.m. we'd be training and having fun, man. That was it. He's still alive. He was released already. Oh shit. So Todd, Dr. Oliveri was released from jail. I hope he's doing okay. Because when I first met him, he was walking around jacked and shit like that. And then at the end there, he was having trouble walking. And I know all about the whole when he broke his hip and shit. I was there at his birthday party when he was doing that stupid shit with the hula.
What?
Talking about Oliveri.
No, because somebody wrote on here, hey, someone is deleting comments. Nobody's deleting comments.
Who's deleting comments?
Because it says that they retracted their message, though.
Oh. No, that's John Mancini. Did he retract his own message?
Nobody. We don't have.
No, Lucia's not. At the moment, guys, I don't know if anybody's deleting messages, but you guys got to tell me if somebody's. There's no message deleting. I can't do it from here, so I don't know how to do it. And she's not even on the phone. She's talking on the phone right now. That's why I'm reading she's on the phone with my niece. That's why I just said to her, you better get over here. So if somebody's deleting messages, you got to let me know because I don't know who. There's no moderator. There's no moderator right now, and she's the only one here. So you got to tell me unless somebody is retracting their own. I don't know.
That's what it says. It says message retracted.
It says message retracted. So that's somebody deleting their own message.
He wrote on here, iDubbbz Gaming. He said, me, because I misspelled my comment.
Oh, okay.
So his question is great question because I have to try my test is low, not because of gear.
Have you ever met Buddy from the Cake Boss? Yes, of course I know Buddy from the Cake. The Cake Boss, I was in his, yes, I know. Buddy Morrow from the Cake Boss. That's Morrow. Buddy is married to Morrow's sister. Morrow is Alessandro Savi, my close friend. He's like a little brother to me. The bodybuilder Alessandro Savi, probably the biggest man on the planet. be honest with you, pound for pound. He's 5'1", and he's 255 shredded. He's got more. I'm telling you, if you ever see how big he is, it's unbelievable. Alessandro Savi. Moro's his first cousin. Their mothers are sisters. So we go to Buddy's, we go to the Cake Boss, we go there, we got free, get wherever we want for free. I was there when they're making the cakes and stuff, Buddy, Moro. So that's Alessandro's first cousin. So that was asked to me by John Mancini, TMD, bush cutting and firewood. Mike Dietz, bush cutting. We like the bush. Anyway, I like a hairy bush, but anyway, we like the 70s bush, right, Mike? Greg, how much was the check for when you shot the hot darts in Buddy's ass, in that guy's ass? Oh, you're talking about when what's his name here? Andrew Crispo, the art director. It was $350, I think. That was back 1991, maybe. What's doing, Greg? Joe V, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Thank you. Okay, my producer's on the fucking phone, so now I got to try to read these things, which is very hard for me. I found a really old bottle of Dimetrodine storage. You know what's funny? Ronan the Troll Slayer. I found. He's saying I found a bottle of Dimetrodine, an old bottle, a couple weeks ago. It was kind of crumbly though, and old as hell. I have, I think, 2 or 3 Dimetrodines still left from back in the days, and I found them too, like behind this counter that I have. And I took one I found this like 2-3 years ago, but I took one maybe a year or so ago, and it worked. I still had a little kick, and that shit's got to be like 25, 30, maybe 30 years old, right? Something like that. Mine were still intact. Bad for the liver. Yes, it is bad for the liver. You're talking about the ephedrine. Ephedrine is not great for the liver. No, it isn't. And that's why I don't take it often. So, but when I need it, I got to take it. And there's a lot of things that are also bad for the liver, including steroids and shit. But, hello. Thank you, Greg, for the podcast. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Houston Dante. Sorry, guys. It's hard for me to read. Galen Mary. Good, Greg. Good to see you, brothers. Thanks so much for keeping all of us. Thank you, Galen Merrick. Thank you. I appreciate it. We the people, those old stackers were great. Yes, I love all those all the old shit. I love. Wait a minute. Did I just? Okay, I can't fucking see where I'm sorry, guys, where I left off here. Walgreen. Geez, I'm far behind, man. I'm sorry, guys. I don't even know where I lost my place here. Walgreen brand is HL nice too. It's cheap. Walgreen has freaking. I have to look into that. Walgreen's got a ephedrine. You know what? Walmart also has. You can get the Primatene if you want the Primatene, which is ephedrine HCl. Go to Walmart. It's cheaper there. It's way cheaper than CVS. It's not their brand, it's Primatene, but it's just that they sell shit cheaper. So, did you think NPC held back Matt Mendel? No, I don't think the NPC held back Matt Mendel. I just think he could have been a little bit harder. And those were tough shows. It's hard to say. I do think that Matt Mendenhall could have been a great pro though. He was a big motherfucker. I met him in person. He was fucking wide. Is that a misplacement comment? Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm way far behind. It's February. Okay, Todd was saying that the doctor was released in February. Okay. Dancing at the party broke his hip, right? Yes, the dancing at the party broke his hip. He's fucking crazy. I was there at that party. It was with Victor Martinez. Okay. Lucia read the last comment. Lucia's a Momo. I'm saying Lucia's a Momo. She's on the phone right now. So she's leaving me with this shit, and I can't see. So I got to stick my face over here. Someone keeps deleting comments. No. Okay, that's old. I'm sorry, guys. 70s Bush, 100%. Greg, question. I have to do my TRT. My last was lower gear. We didn't know what to take. The shots are more often effective than cream. Don't use the creams. Don't use the creams for. Don't use those creams. Don't do shit. Don't let that fucking under the arm fucking shit cream. Go take the shot. Don't be afraid of it. You won't even feel it. You don't even feel the needle. Don't be afraid. Do not use that testosterone cream shit. It's not going to do dick for you. It's not. I tried that shit. They tried giving me that shit first. Didn't do dick. That's like taking GNC's test booster, the test booster, and she'll love it too. You bullshit. That shit don't work. Bullshit. They're trying to say ashwagandha and stuff like that. Ridiculous. Let's see here. Dell video, yes, Rambling Man, that's coming. Yes, Mike Dietz, you and I both know we like that 70s rug. I like the bush. There's a reason why God fucking put the bush there. That shit looks like two turkey fucking things stuck together. I like the bush. Especially when, remember the old fucking Playboy magazines? They always had a nice groomed bush. It was just nice and groomed. You know what I mean? And the girls all look so fucking cute. Now today, forget about it. They shaved that shit and his little fucking lips hanging out like that, because it's been fucked so many times. No way. No, I inject myself every day. Diabetes, I want injection. Yeah, don't let them talk you into anything else. If you can just take your diabetes injection, and that hurts just as more than fucking taking testosterone. I take insulin at times. I have to take it too because I'm a diabetic. And there's nothing. There's no way. Don't let them talk you into that stupid fucking gel shit. That does not work. What's Lucille's? Well, her name's not Lucille. It's Lucia, and it's P. A lot of the shit on there, you have to ask her, and she'll direct you to the bodybuilding shit. You can message her. It's P for Paul. Wait, PAGIJU. PAGIJU. Just message her on there on eBay, and she'll tell you. I have no idea what she's selling. She's got all kinds of shit on there, so it's not just bodybuilding shit. You can ask her. She's got a lot of bodybuilding stuff too, but it might be for here, there. She can direct you to a show if you tell her what you want or what you're interested in. And she has, she's the one who handles it, not me. I don't know anything about this shit. The only test cream that worked was the stuff that Barry bought. Yeah, but that was the clear. That was a totally different thing. And it wasn't a cream like you're taking. And that's bullshit. He was taking it. Dude, I worked with Victor Conti. I worked with him. He worked for Muscular Development Magazine with me. So did Patrick Arnold. They all went to jail for that. I know everything that they were doing. They the clear and all that shit. All they did was resurrect like drugs that were already, like there was no test for it. Like Belastirone was one of the drugs. Barry Bonds didn't get that from just some cream. They did a whole bunch of other shit, and they were also trying to make it. That's almost like when fucking Mark McGuire put androstenedione in his locker, so people thought, oh, he's taking androstenedione. I must really do androstenedione. Dude, I took androstenedione. You know what I got from it? A fucking lighter wallet. That's it. Didn't get shit from it. So that shit don't work. If that shit worked, guys wouldn't be taking steroids and risking their ass and getting in trouble. They'd be taking androstenedione. Have you recently been fired by any hot woman? Fired or flirted? I can't see. You know what it is? I can't see. Maybe if I pull back, I can't read. Flirted by any hot woman, say at the gym, just for being pretty famous. And how does Lucia take it? Lucia and I get girl. Believe it or not, I'm an ugly motherfucker, but I do, and I'm not so bad with the chicks, bro. Because you got the gift of gab. We don't get jealous. There's no jealousy here. Like Lucia, like if I see a picture of a guy on the internet or something like that I know Lucia like, I would be like, I send it to her. I know you like this dude. I don't give shit. We don't have it like that. There's no jealousy. There's like, I could sit there and go, wow, that girl's got a nice ass. Look at the tits on her. And my girlfriend would be like, hey, yeah, she is. She can appreciate that. It's just like I tell her, oh, I know, that guy's your type. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about like jealousy. Yeah, I know. You're gonna tell me it's 10 something.
10:30.
Okay. She wants me to go in a couple of minutes because we gotta go run to the stores. Um. Shots are the best. Yes, 100% they are. Greg, remember Axial Labs? No, actually, I don't remember. Well, maybe it sounds familiar, but I never got anything. I was a Steris. Caps for Greg. Thank you, Sean. I'd rather miss you. Hey, Big Rob, my boy Big Rob is here. Big Rob is a great guy. That's my boy. Funny guy, man. He's got some good stuff on his channel. My boy Big Rob is in the house. And let me tell you something. He's one of my favorite guys, so nobody talks shit. He's a good man, my boy. Big Rob's funny, bro. Watch some of his videos. Rob, I don't know how you do some of that stuff and not with a straight face. Like when I see those prank videos and you do these things, you walk into a Walmart and stuff like Rob does, I don't know. I'd be silly. Like if you go up to a woman and say, "Excuse me," I'd be like, I wouldn't. I can't do that. I get really silly. But Rob does it. I don't know how he does it, but my boy Big Rob, much love and respect to Big Rob. Big Rob TV, right there. That's my guy. I would definitely get silly though. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he does it. Let's see here. Greg, I know Lee Priest had issues with Sean Ray. Have you ever had any issues with Sean? No. Sean and I are really good friends. It's funny because I'm good friends with Lee and I'm good friends with Sean. They hated each other for a long time. I think they buried the hatchet recently. No, I get along really well with Lee. With Sean. I'm friends with. I worked with Sean for years at Muscular Development. He's not a bad guy at all. Don't listen to all that shit. I know he could be a little petty, but when he starts that race stuff, I don't like that shit. Race. I mean, he was doing a little bit of that when we had him on, after hours, like a couple of years ago, when all that fucking George Floyd shit hit. He had him on. I don't want to hear that shit because it hasn't affected your life, but you're doing pretty fucking good for somebody. The whole victim card. Get rid of that shit. Lee Priest is funny because he has a privilege card. Lee Priest has his card in his wallet that he carries around. It says my white privilege. He's like, I'll trade you my white privilege for your victim card. He's funny. Greg back. Come on. Come back, Big Rob. Why did you stop posting videos? Big Rob's what are you talking about? Big Rob posts videos all the time. He's go to Big Rob's channel. You'll see he's got all these prank videos. He's funny. He walks into Walmart. Sometimes he dresses in like a character. I don't know how he does it. He'll say, "Excuse me, ma'am," and he'll say, or walk in a gym. I'd be silly. I couldn't do what he does. So Big Big Rob's got my respect, my love and respect always. He's a great man, in my opinion. So, Greg, Lee Haney started funny with sleeping and with his eyes open. Potatoes made it in his stomach. Yes, you like my impression. God made Big Lee Haney used to say to me about the eggs because. Let's see. Bradford McDermott's asking me about the Lee Haney, where I said Lee Haney would fall asleep in my car. I'd be driving, I'd look over, and Lee Haney would be sleeping, his eyes would be open. But he would say to me about like eggs. He'd say, "Well, God made the white with the yolk. Who am I to take them apart?" Like he would say stuff like that. Less said, best said. That's as easy as duck butter soup. And I'm like, what the fuck is duck butter soup? He had like little expressions. It was great. Greg, in that old photo of you when you were natty back, you look like Paul DeMeo. Well, thank you, Paul. I thought Paul was a good-looking guy. I wasn't always ugly like this, by the way. This happened over years. Wait, I can't see. The fucking thing is going down. My girlfriend's over there gabbing away. Thanks a lot for helping me. Didn't you get in a fight with D. Schneider? Yeah, well, I didn't get in a fight with him. He kicked the shit out of me. He jumped on top of me because I was fighting Mark Mendoza, the bass player, because my girlfriend cheated on me with him. A girl I brought to the senior prom. She was actually a stripper, so I'm shocked. I can tell you almost the exact date. It was June 20-something, right around my sister's birthday. It was June 24th. It might have been like the 22nd or 23rd, somewhere around there. You have to look. It was I think it was Friday night. So in the 20s in June of 1979. And I had a fight with Mark Mendoza over a girl. I kicked him out of a chair, and then I jumped on top of him. I kicked him over. He was sitting in a chair, and I kicked him over like that. And I jumped on top of him, and I was like trying to hit him and choke him. And then D. Schneider jumped on from behind and had me like this and was punching me in the fucking face and shit. And, then the bouncers came over and beat the fuck out of me. So I was fucked up. And she stayed in the fucking club. And then, I tried to run in and grab her out again. But I got her when she came out. And, it was ridiculous. But anyway. My boy from Ace Sunglasses is in here. Ace Sunglasses, let me tell you something. We've got to give them. These are not Ace. These are shit sunglasses. These are only because this is mild light I'm in. But I need light because of my eyes. If you notice, see the fucking, I got the, okay, see? Anyway. The Ace sunglasses that I wear is the same one that Jimmy the Bull wears and Lee Priest wears. We wear them outside because they have they're polarized. So when I drive, these could not protect me from the sun at all. I'd be fucked. I can't go out in the sun. If I just walk out to the mailbox and back, I have to keep my bad eye closed because I can't see. You understand what I'm saying? I can't see. I'm fucking blind. Because my pupil's permanently dilated. So I have to wear special sunglasses. So I wear Ace sunglasses. Okay, you can check them out, man. I am giving them a plug because Lee Priest hooked me up with them. Lee Priest wears them all the time. So when I'm outside and I'm in sun, real sun, I have to wear the Ace. When I'm in indoors and if it's light indoors, I will wear bullshit like this. So these are fucking dollar store. Got them in a dollar store in Carmel, New York. Anyway, but Ace sunglasses is what we wear. Greg, are you on a laptop or PC? Zoom to see better. Yeah, John, I'm really not sure how to do that. But also, I don't want to find. I'm on a PC. What do you call it? What's this thing called again? iMac or whatever the hell it is. It's my girlfriend. I don't know. They get the Apple thing, the little Apple guys up there. It's like a. I'm bad. You gotta remember, I'm old school. I just had a flip phone up in there recently. Were you in the movie Toxic Avenger? No, Ronnie, is that you? If that's you, text me. No, the Toxic Avenger. Remember, he trained at our gym in my Peak Skill gym. Remember, they filmed the movie, and the whole crew would come in every day. And one of the guys was Rick Collins. He was in the movie The Toxic Avenger. I think he was the Toxic Avenger. But that's when they filmed that movie. Remember that? You remember, Ronnie? That's you. I'm pretty. If that's Ronnie, text me. I'd love to see how you're doing, man. I talked to Joe Steinfeld not too long ago. So we'll talk if that's you. I got Andy Griffith, Don Knotts driver's license card in my wallet. Do you really win more? Where'd you get that? Is that something you bought online, or are you fooling around? Or are you serious? Do you hate Vinny the Chin? I don't hate the guy, but I didn't like when he came on there and started ripping on George and talking shit about George. Who the fuck is he? He's a character. That's not the way that guy Vinny the Chin talks. You know that, right? Well, hey, let me tell you something, bro. Let me tell you, fuck you and your mother. He doesn't talk like that. That's all bullshit. That's I didn't like what he did with George. George is my friend. He got on there, started talking. When George got mad, George is like, look, if they were in the studio, George would have punched him in the face. Talk shit about George's son. You don't do that. I don't believe in that kind of shit. You don't talk about people's families. I don't do that shit here. I don't like anybody doing that shit to me. Okay, what's going on here, guys? I'm sorry, I can't. These fucking comments are going bad. I'm really bad with this. Yeah, you was in a scuffle over a chicken. Decent involved groupie followed his twisted sister, yada yada. There was a escapade on Arcs where he talked about it within the last year. D. Schneider talked about me and. Did D. Schneider talk about that fight with me and him? I don't even. I mean, he didn't know who I was at the time. I mean, that you're talking 1979. I was already really built, a body built a whole bit. But that was in a club called Gemini. All right, the Gemini, and I was in there, and she was in the back, and she went. The girl I was with went in the back room with them, where the band goes. It's just the band. They would go in the back room, and then she came out. I was looking all over for her, and she came out, and she was sitting on fucking Mark Mendoza. That's the bass player. They used to call him Mark the Animal back then. Mark Mendoza, that's his name. She was sitting on his lap, and I told her, "Get up, we're leaving." And she stood up, and then Mark Mendoza was still sitting there. He goes, no, she could sit here. I told her she could. And I said, fuck you. And we was going back. And then that's when I jumped on him. And then D. Schneider came over and just jumped on me. So if he talked about that on After Hours, then I guess he remembers it. But, I'm sure he's been in a million. I was just anybody back then. I was just a kid in a club. And, maybe he remembers me jumping on Mendoza. But I'm glad he remembers. If he brought it up on After Hours, I'm glad he remembers. Greg, you're not ugly, but D. Schneider. Well, thank you, Winmore. I appreciate that. Winmore said I'm not ugly, but I am ugly. Just ask my girlfriend. In a couple minutes, I got to go, or the stores are going to close. And then,
it's 10:40 now.
See, Satan's so telling me it's 10:40. Are you still on the phone?
No, I just not.
Oh, any drama over that way?
No.
Oh, okay, she's good. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna have to go. Jean Paul Galimi, Ace Sunglasses. Jean Paul Galimi, have you met him? Yes, a long time ago though. I did. Paul Jean. He was a natural bodybuilder. He wasn't big, but he was really built. Ace Sunglasses is asking me a Paul Jean Galimi. I'm bad with names, bro. I'm Italian. I get everybody's name wrong. Yeah, I did meet him. He wasn't huge, but he was. He was really built. He was a natural bodybuilder. He looked good too. I met him that was the 80s. Rick Collins was the Toxic Avenger. Yes, John Mancini. And no, it's not a MacBook. It's an actual, what do you call it? What do they call shit, Lucia? Desktop.
Skip Milligan says it's been 30 minutes since Lucia summoned you. You better get out of here.
Yeah, she's funny. Look, now all of a sudden she's reading a comment now. Now, where you been for the last half hour? You've been gabbing to my niece on the phone. Yeah, Skip, you're 100% right. Now she's like summoning me because she wants to go to the store because she wants food. She's like a dog. I got to feed her.
Feed your bitch.
First time meet Greg. When's the first time I met Jimmy the Bull? Jimmy the Bull and I have been friends. White Goodman's asking me. By the way, nice name. You asked me about Jimmy the Bull when about meeting him. First time I met him. I met him in a gym. 1991. He was with his girlfriend, Rita, who was fucking jacked. She was the one who used to steal his Anadrol. Jimmy the Bull's girlfriend, Rita, used to take the Anadrol out of the drawer. She'd be popping Anadrol. She was fucking jacked. Yeah, that was good. Jimmy's my boy, though. Jimmy and I've been friends with him longer than any of them. Thank you, Warrior. Warrior's been around for a long time. Warrior, thank you. God bless you, man. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna have to run in a second here. Toxic Avenger blew up the bats. Oh my God, that's Ronnie. That's got to be you. Is that Ronnie Gatto? Ronnie, is that you? Because it's funny you say that. Holy fuck. Because I've never forgotten that either. He shit so bad in our bathroom in the gym that we smelled it all the way up at the front desk. Holy fuck. I didn't think anybody would remember that. Holy fuck. If that's not Ronnie, then it's one of you guys. When you say Valley from the Valley, that can only be Ronnie. That's his thing. If not, text me who you are. Stop fucking around. But it's true. Holy shit. That's funny. You remember that? The shitting in the gym. He shit the Toxic Avenger when they came. They filmed in the whole film. They filmed in our neighborhood to do the movie, The Toxic Avenger. And then they came to the gym. They were training Peekskill, my first gym that I owned, where I had Lee Haney, Ron Love, Jackie Pace, Laura Convell, Vince Taylor, fucking all them guys training here. Tanya Knight. And they filmed that movie there, and the Toxic Avenger, the whole crew was all into lifting weights. They will come in. Rick Collins was one of them. But I think that Rick Collins, I knew he played the Toxic Avenger, but he wasn't the one who shit. It was the other guy. There was two Toxic Avenger guys. I think one was the understudy in it, and that's the one that took the shit that stunk up he took that shit so bad it stunk the whole fucking gym up. from the back room. Our bathroom was way in the back, so we smelt it all at the front desk. I can't believe you remember that. I thought I'd be the only guy, because I owned the gym. So but I can't believe you remember that.
You managed to do 3 hours.
Yes, thank you. All right. So listen, guys. Skip Milligan, thank you. Do you ever wear a particular fragrance to the club back in the day? Quick pump. What kind of silly question? No. Todd Morrissey, thank you, man. I appreciate it. No, I didn't wear any particular fragrance. I wore Essence of fucking BO. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I'm all fucking sticking my face in it. Good night. Thank you, Sean Chestnut. Thank you so much. And Nico wins. Thank you. TC, thank you. Danny Dutcher, man, how you doing? Good to see you here. Thank you so much, man. Missed your live, Greg, but we'll definitely watch it. Thank you. Thank you, Danny. Long time, man. Danny's a good man. Thank you, Danny. Mark Burton, thank you so much. I appreciate it. When War, as always. Glenn Merrick, thank you. John Mancini, my boy, thank you. Brandon Jimenez, Momos for Life, thank you. Kevnick, not Ronnie, but I'll reach out to you soon. We'll see. I don't know. Dubs Gaming, thank you, man. I appreciate it. We the people, of course, thank you. Quick Pump, thank you. Danny Dutcher, good seeing you again, too. Thank you. All right, guys, I'm going to run. I have to get out of here. I got to take Satan to the store, So, Eating a bell, thank you. And anything for you, my brother. Thank you, John Mancini. I really appreciate it. And Daryl Massis, thank you, man. Good to see you here, man. Thank you, Daryl. He's been a long time guy, one of my guys, too. All right, guys. I love you guys. I'll be here next Wednesday. We'll talk more for another 3 hours, and I'll have her bitch again. All right. Thanks so much, man. I love you guys. Thank you.